We
Oh,
are live, set, ready to begin. And also, just to make sure, click. All right, perfect. Just got to get that little extra thing on the side
yeah.
just to be safe. We don't get no incidents of what happened last week with the podcast. I love how every other day has been perfectly fine, but only on Monday's pod was when things got chaotic. And I streamed for like
Oh,
4 hours for E3 literally the other day. So, man, this is gonna be an interesting pod for tonight, ladies and gents. As
yeah.
you guys already know, we had just an entire gauntlet of things happening within these past couple of days, especially given that it was E3. So me, Tyrone, TSS, Terrell, Richie have gotten together for a lot of the streams to go and react to certain events that played out, from Capcom to Bethesda and Xbox to whatever else there was out there. Ubi Forward, Devolver Digital. We're gonna do our best to talk about all of the ones in particular that we found worthy to talk about for tonight. So, ladies and gents, once again, my name is KG Prestige. Welcome everybody to another exciting edition of the PokePod World Podcast. And folks, as I already said, we're going to be talking about purely E3, and then that one episode I think everybody kind of wanted to talk about as well. So yeah, we'll take our chance to talk about that soon, especially because I feel like there's going to be some mixed bags for that one. And just as always, I mean, it's not really a pod, is it now, if there's no mixed bags in the middle of these kind of conversations. I'm very curious to see how Chad has to think about for that episode. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about Xbox. We're going to be talking about Ubi. We're going to be talking about the Volver. We're going to be talking about PC. We're going to be talking about the comfy one, because there was another one. It was like a very comfy kind of direct that they had. I forgot what it was called in particular, but it's supposed to be like comfy stream of a direct. So there are all these things that happen in E3, and we'll do our best to cover it. But I am not alone for this adventure. I have with me my two buddies here. Of course, one of them being TSS. How you doing, buddy?
Good. I didn't know that Rika was in fucking dinosaurs.
Well, that's a little interesting trivia fact, I guess, for the Disney hit show Dinosaurs. Exactly what it was that she was a part on again?
She dubbed Charlene in Japanese.
Ah,
That's
okay.
Earl's daughter.
Oh, the more you know, I guess. And moving along from that, though, we got our other buddy Polly on in this one tonight as well. How you doing?
Hello. So, I am not like I don't really have any input for E3 other than Animal Crossing update and Tomodachi Life. Let's
I'm waiting for
do the
that
prayer
too.
circle. But yeah, so I might wind up talking a little bit later on when we do the episode review, just to give you guys a chance, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of opinions flying around, but I don't really have any opinions. But I'm still happy to be here, and I'm happy to be back since I haven't really been here for the past few weeks. So, yes.
Yeah, it's good to have
Um,
you back, Polly. Glad to see you're still around, and hopefully everything has been going a-okay for you.
Thank you. I will give my 2 cents if I feel like I know enough about whatever we're talking about. But yes.
Okay, so yeah, we will be providing, I should say, coverage on some of the things that we found ourselves interested in, because, to be quite honest with you, the best way to summarize E3 is Nintendo won by default.
Oh
Pretty
boy,
much.
and they haven't even.
They haven't
Okay.
even come on in, and Nintendo and Bandai already won by default. Listen, no disrespect to Microsoft because they still came out killing it. But in terms of trying to get fans into buying an Xbox, they still kind of did very poorly on that part, man.
Mm.
Well,
So,
the actual answer is they want people to buy Xbox Game Pass, which you don't need an Xbox for.
and also
Or
they
soon enough, you're gonna only need a TV. So
Yeah, and also the reason why it failed as well, that presentation, was because where was my world premiere or Xbox console exclusive?
World.
Where was that voice? Like the iconic voice that everybody nuts on. Like he's nowhere to be seen, and sadly that ruined that presentation. Nah, I'm just kidding. But for the most part, man, I really loved Microsoft. If in all honesty, I would put it up there as one of the best of this presentation from E3 so far. Microsoft did a great job killing it. The only issue is that I think they failed on the aspect of the Xbox console, but as TSS stated before, they did an amazing job when it came into getting fans enticed into buying the pass. And I think that in itself, if that was their intention from that presentation, they did a really good damn job with that. And also, a lot of the games that they announced, while majority of them are going to be coming out either next year or even in 2023 with that one title. Um, I still believe they did an amazing job with some of the games that are going to be coming out later this year, such as Halo Infinite, which I was kind of surprised got shafted in this E3. Did anybody else feel surprised by that? Microsoft's
Hmm.
big iconic series, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary of Xbox, and yet we only got like maybe a 3-minute trailer of it.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that. But to accommodate that, they did say that multiplayer is indeed free for both PC and Xbox, and there's no restrictions in terms of, like, I assume, connectivity between both console and PC. So I'm pretty confident
Mm.
we'll hear more Halo information later down the road, but it was a little sad to see how Halo kind of was just sort of there. It
Mm.
didn't feel significant. It didn't feel
Yeah.
important, and I think that's what hurt me the most. But it really does look more polished than it did when we first saw it a
Yeah.
while back. So, TSS, I'll pass this on to you then, buddy. What was your overall impressions on Microsoft and Bethesda's E3 conference?
Well, actually, seeing that a lot of those titles are going to get day one Xbox Game Pass. That's a lot. That I'd say like over 20 of the games at least have day ones. Now, this is crazy considering that just a couple of years ago, we would be lucky if you get one or two titles day one. But here you could literally play almost all of the titles that they were announcing day one. Now, the other thing was another few things that people won't mention is the fact that they just freaking just soft dropped all 8 Yakuza games on the Game Pass.
Yes.
Like the entire thing. They just said, "Oh, here it is," without any fucking warning. It's like, "Oh, there you go,
Yeah, they
all in the
just
Game Pass."
brushed that shit to the side, and I felt like that could have been a very big thing on its own. But now it's like, nah, here they are, they're out. Enjoy, bye. All right, moving on into the next one. That's how they kind
Yes.
of felt. But to be honest, though, it is still pretty badass that they got all 8 of them there because it's 0 through 6, and then the recently released 7. So
Yeah, like a dragon.
So I mean, so far I really have to say I think they did an amazing job with some of the games. You know what? You want to know how good they did? They did
Mm.
so good in how they made me excited for Battlefield of
Yeah,
all games.
2042. Yeah, Battlefield 2042 is that trailer to see something that isn't fucking World War II or like green and black garbage.
It was
Looking
probably
like
one.
looking it's one of the more impressive Battlefield trailers I've seen since Bad Company 2. It's actually wanted me to buy this since Bad Company 2.
Bro, the way the shit looked, it's so incredible. I've never been intrigued with a shooter game before. Normally, I do play like the ones like Halo, as we
Yeah.
talked about before. Because Halo I grew up with, and I loved the Halo franchise. But
Yeah.
Battlefield was a series I never really tackled upon because I'm not into like the realism. But what they showed off here with those game modes looks incredible. The way the effects were happening in
Thank you,
real
Lightning.
time as well, like the clouds just kind of closing in, tornadoes coming in. You see vehicles flying out of the building and crashing into the helicopter, bro. You cannot deny that was hype as hell. Like this
Yeah.
man drove a vehicle and destroyed a helicopter mid-flight while there is this apocalyptic background going on. It is absolutely phenomenal, and I think the people who worked on Battlefield did an amazing job with that trailer. If you ever wanted to see a trailer that captures exactly what a game should be, I
Mm.
think that
Yeah.
game did an amazing
Yeah.
job.
And you should buy Battlefield 2042 when it's $30.
Yeah, good job on that point, buddy, because unfortunately, the only thing you're getting from that game is simply the multiplayer. And I just
Yep.
want to remind people that in that same presentation, Halo came out and said, "Yo, we're just giving the multiplayer for free. You don't have to pay
Free.
for any of that."
Yeah, so pretty much uprooted everything that freaking EA is doing. So
Exactly. They just came out like, "Yeah, that's great and all. We got this shit for free. You don't even need Xbox Live here on PC World. You're perfectly fine." So I
yeah,
mean,
so I
Kinda.
think so. Yeah, so
oh, hey there, Tyrone. How you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
what's up? I'm doing good.
We're just talking and making fun of EA, so we're all good here in this call tonight.
Cool.
Yeah. No, we were just to catch you up to speed. We're kind of giving our simple review on Microsoft's presentation, Microsoft and Bethesda's
It was
presentation.
actually a lot better than what I remember, like what I was expecting. Now,
Mm-hmm.
granted, that's because my expectations for Microsoft are lower than the fucking asphalt on a fucking broken concrete playground. But they did better than that. So good job for being better than the asphalt on a broken concrete playground.
Indeed, man. So, like we said, I think it's more so we came, and everybody can agree on this.
Yeah.
Everybody came in with no expectations whatsoever
Mhm.
because everybody's mindset was like on. Well, I don't think they're going to show anything that'll make me get an Xbox. However, it did get me invested in getting that Game Pass. And I'm just saying, man, if Microsoft comes out tomorrow and is in that Nintendo presentation with the Game Pass on the Switch, that is going to be mind blowing, in my opinion.
It's gonna be game over.
Exactly.
Now, another thing I want to mention about the presentation as well on the Bethesda side is the fact that they're going to be releasing Diablo 2. Now, I'm not a Diablo person, but to see Diablo 2, considering that they fucked up with Diablo 1 by losing the source code and you had people the de-evolution, which is the source, the homebrew like reverse engineering. So to see actual, Blizzard actually coming out and fucking releasing Diablo 2 remastered in both a remastered mode and the classic mode, I think is a really good gesture because a
Sorry.
lot of people like that game.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but like, uh, there's this meme I just saw on Facebook where it's like, do you know the Anakin
Sorry.
and Princess meme?
Yes. It's
She
about
goes,
like
yeah, and then
go
she
go.
says, right, yeah. She goes, she
It's
goes,
Blizzard.
well, Anakin is Nintendo in this situation. She goes, yeah, and Padme goes, you're gonna save E3, right, Nintendo? And then looks at Nintendo again and goes, right, Nintendo, and Nintendo's holding up like the Amiibo Festival game.
Yeah.
No, no, don't do this
Yeah.
to me, Nintendo. You got no. Oh,
Yeah.
It's so funny.
oh man.
Yes, I meant Blizzard, not Bethesda, because it's Microsoft's one, so it's
Bethesda
Blizzard.
was
And it's,
garbage this year. All I wanted was Elder Scrolls 6, and they couldn't deliver.
They gave you
yeah,
Skyrim 10th anniversary though.
I don't give a fuck about Skyrim anymore.
Well, I tried, guys.
It's sad. I love Skyrim too. That's the sad part. But after 10 years of putting Skyrim on the fucking Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, the motherfucking what was the
That's
other
fun.
one? It came on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox X, the Xbox One S, the PlayStation 5. I'm sure it's gonna be on it. The fucking Nintendo Switch, motherfucker. I think wound up on the Wii U. I think at some point.
The shadow
Skyrim.
release.
Right, fucking Skyrim's on the mobile phone, on the goddamn fucking. At this point, it should be on like an advanced calculator.
Yeah.
Remember when they made that joke where you could play Skyrim on the refrigerator and fucking Key and Peele were playing it on the fucking fridge? God damn it, I'm tired of seeing Skyrim at this point, which is so sad. I love that game, but now I hate just seeing it. I want to see the new Elder Scrolls, but they keep showing fucking Elder Scrolls online
Yeah.
and it's pissing me off.
yeah,
Oh
nobody
yeah,
wants
the
to play
Elden
it.
Ring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Elden Ring.
Yeah, but I will admit that at least Microsoft gave you a reason to give a fuck about what games are coming out.
Yeah,
But
they did.
that 2.5D RPG, oh my god.
Man, Square can go suck a fat one. That's
Well,
fun.
we'll talk about Square soon. Don't worry. We're just gonna go in order from things we
Yeah,
did.
we're
see.
going in order. I'm sorry.
But anyway, is there anything else? Well, actually, no. Here's my thing. Microsoft, I really did give high praise.
Yeah.
It did lose some points at the very end, though, with that CG trailer.
Yeah, I forgot. I was about to say I forgot what game was the last one.
It's supposed to be like some kind of Left for
Redfall. It's a Redfall.
Yeah,
whatever
but
the
it
fuck
looks
it is.
like a Left for Dead, but with vampires, basically.
Yeah, but that's weird because we already got fucking Back 4 Blood. So yeah, this is redundant.
It got vampires. Tyrone, does Back for Blood have vampires?
Oh, I'm sorry. 10 out of fucking 10. Game of the year.
Yeah, gameplay of the year without any gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Excuse the fuck out of me. Who the fuck was I, uncultured fuck?
All right. Well, let's continue moving on from. I guess we should continue going from best to worst. Why don't we then?
Yeah.
There's still one more that we have to talk about before we go to the worst category.
Don't worry, we're not going to the worst one yet. We're just slowly inching down bit by bit. We have to talk about Devolver Digital.
I
Yeah.
love theirs.
Wait a minute. No, hold
They were
on.
fun.
We're not fucking done with the Xbox.
Are we not? I feel like there is. Oh wait, I forgot Mexico Simulator. Right.
Yes.
I forgot about
Forza.
the. Okay.
But there's another one after that. So let's talk about Forza Horizon 5 because that fucking
Hold on.
presentation was great.
Let's talk about Flight Simulator, then Forza.
Yeah, Flight Sim. Yeah, so first of all, Flight Sim is coming to the Xbox Series X and S. It's going to be 4K 60 on the Xbox Series X. But most importantly, they've announced a new free DLC for Flight Sim, and that is Top Gun, which means people can fly fucking interceptors now.
Yeah.
Hold on
Which,
a second.
I mean, it's very exciting. I mean, it's very exciting to see, Flight Simulator. I've seen the game in action. It's a freaking amazing game. It makes me want to freaking fly a plane. But yeah.
Yeah, and I will say there are a lot of games in there that Microsoft showed. I don't think we're going to go into like full on discussions, but
Yeah,
I
we
feel
can't go
like they
into
did an
all of them,
amazing
but-
job because, like you stated, Flight Simulator, Forza Horizon 5, Top Gun collaboration. Like, there's so many good things from this presentation, and I think the variety that they have is good. So,
And also in Forza Horizon 5, you can actually freaking press a button and freaking go convertible now. People are actually noticing that on the trailers.
nice.
Because remember that I was watching it back. Remember the one scene with that Mexican mural painting on the sidewall?
Yes.
Okay, just before that, the car turns around a corner and you see a fucking McLaren going pushing the top down.
Jesus.
Huh. Interesting. So
And
there's going to be a lot of features.
you never saw that, but never had that function before in Forza Horizon.
You never had that function.
I'm curious to see how this game is gonna go. I just to let people know because it is based on Mexico and a lot of the culture.
Mexico.
I knew I had to show this to one particular person just to see their opinions on what they thought of it. That particular person was my own mother, and she caught a lot of things that were in that trailer.
George
that she-
Lopez. Whoppa!
and she's interested in it. She actually legitimately wants to get the game now when it comes out to play it.
It looked beautiful. This
It
game
looks
It's
beautiful.
12. They said that they had 12 megapixel images of the sky. They took it a 24-hour period. So you have a 12 megapixel rendering of the sky for a whole 24 hours.
It's
So
incredible,
you basically
man.
every single point of the day you'll get a really cool thing, but also just the high quality image scans for for the cities itself.
Real outside don't even look this good. Bullshit.
I know. They had fucking volcano and shit and the
I
fucking
go
forest
outside,
and
we
all
be
that stuff.
dropping frames and shit.
Clipping and all
Is
this
it
shit.
thundering?
Oh, it was earlier this morning.
I guess
not
it
anymore.
moved down here.
Yeah, we passed it over to you guys over there. You guys like the rain, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a whirl. I mean, as in water, you're sort of shtick.
I am a whirl.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, you got the ability rain dish. You'll be all right.
Rain
Exactly.
dance. I
Go
used
get
rain
wet. There.
dance.
Now then. But what was there else talking about?
The graphics outside.
Also,
right.
well, okay. So we have those things, but also in the same presentation, we have a physical release for Hades on as a double pack for the Xbox One Series X and the Xbox One.
Yes.
That's coming out. In July, I think.
Yeah. Now, I also want to take a chance before we move on into the next presentation discussion. We have to give a shout out to a little small event that wasn't really like a super humongous one, but it did have some things in there. That was, I believe, the Summerfest. Because they did have some announcements in there.
Summerfest sadness. Sorry.
But of course, obviously, everybody's big talk that everybody was going nuts about from that presentation, from IGN's all that and whatnot. Doki Doki Literature Club is getting an update, a big update. It's supposed to be the granddaddy of it. So
Yes.
So, ladies and gents, if you guys are familiar with our channel, back before the deletion of it on YouTube, me, Tyrone, not Terrell, Richie, Evie,
DJ.
and DJ have gotten together to do a Doki Doki Literature Club playthrough back in the day. And it was one of the most hilarious and emotional roller coaster of a journey that we've ever gone through, because I think out of everybody there, you and I, Tyrone, were probably the only ones who had no idea as to the direction
Yeah.
that story was going. And we got a chance to experience that in one of the most amazing journeys
Y'all know
within
what
Doki
that
Doki.
y'all know what that means. Sayori's back, bitches.
Yes, and another thing to coincide with that, in case people didn't know, we also did a little side story that was based on some, mods out there called, which I think was a Brand New Day mod, where we got to
Yeah,
see the
that's
infamous
bullshit.
Datsuki and whatnot.
That bullshit.
Hey, listen, that was some good bullshit, okay? I had fun with that. But now, Doki Doki Literature Club, the Plus Edition, is coming out this June 30th, and they did show off a not a limited edition, but a premium edition of the game, only for $30, where it
I
contains.
need it. I need the physical version so bad.
Now, here's the thing, though. The physical release will not come out on the day of when Doki Doki drops. It is
Yeah.
coming out sometime within July of in next month, basically. So if you want the physical edition, understand that the game will be taking a little longer to get to you.
That's fine.
Or
I'm willing to wait.
or you can be like me and just buy the game both sides and just support the official release. And because to me, in my opinion, I know that game deserves all the love in the
Well,
world, man.
for the playthrough and for our return, yeah, you got it. You're gonna get it, but I still want that physical version because of that Sayori merch. Oh,
Oh my god, the little acrylic standees and
Although I have a theory about that game that I came up with like super late at night with Terrell and Richie. Look at the picture. Now, I don't know if this is because of the art style or what, but Sayori's hair is longer in the cover art.
let me see here.
It only went up to her like back then. Sayori's hair only went up to like I want to say it stopped at like the bottom of her face.
Like at
now
the chin,
artwork,
basically.
yeah. Now the art goes all the way to her like collar. Her hair goes to her collar. I think her hair got longer. I think this is Sayori's version. Now that she's the new literature club president.
Well, I'm curious to see how things are going to shape up for that because, well, none of us really knows about the direction this one's going to
Yeah.
take. But
Who knows?
I'm very much excited to see how things are going to turn out for it.
I'm so excited. Oh my god, I can't wait. This is literally the game that I've been excited for. Oh my god.
It looks really nice. They updated the visuals. There's brand new stories in this. The side stories that are
Bitches.
that's supposed to take place before the events of the original game. There's brand new music for the game. There's a lot of additional content that you can unlock as you play through the game, such as wallpapers and whatnot. There is so much that this game has to offer. And sincerely to Dan Salvato and his team out there who worked on this game, y'all have a win right here in this one.
So,
to be fair, this is the highlight of E3 so far, man.
I was gonna say, why is this the game I'm the most hyped for? It's a fucking visual novel and I'm in love with it.
It is great. I cannot wait to see how this is gonna turn
Because
out.
people are fucking tired of the fucking same old open world shooting
Yeah,
shit.
you're right. TSS is absolutely right.
And also, to be fair, when you look at a beautiful visual like that, you think to yourself, oh my god, we're getting Doki Doki again. This is a game that you can easily say has never been done before to this style. A style that throws you off in this way. And I really hope to see that this game succeeds in every way possible, man. It's looking to be fun, and I can't wait to see all the new content within the side stories that are supposed to be focusing on the pair of characters. Supposedly,
Now,
there are going to be 6 side stories total.
Here's my question. Because obviously the game is going to follow its regular story. But in that story, you were required to go into the files to delete
Certain things.
certain things. How's that going to work for the consoles?
If you look at one of the images that Dan Salvato posted onto Twitter, you'll notice that at the very left they show off things such as the DDLC, side stories, and on the bottom of that, files. There's
Ah,
also
okay.
something else
That,
called mail, pictures,
yeah.
music, settings, and then the quit option.
Okay,
So,
so I'm gonna say this now. Obviously, if you have for this game, without spoiling anything, if I had to pick, obviously the Steam version would be the definitive version of the game. Because obviously you have to get into the computer files to do it. I see what they're trying to do here by making an option, but it's not gonna feel as genuine as the computer one because I think this game was meant mostly for computer.
well, it
It
did
got
come out on computer.
yeah, it's got a console release simply because of popularity and accessibility. So now people who don't have a PC can actually enjoy it. Although, yeah, like it's not a very like complex fucking computer.
You could probably run this shit on a
Yeah,
fucking
it's
on
a
like a
visual
E on
novel.
like a fucking 15-year-old E8400
Yeah,
Intel
yeah, it's a
system.
visual novel. But it like without spoiling, I'll say the gimmick requires you to go into the computer files and manipulate the files, which works well on a computer in context. On a console, that's not gonna look as it's not gonna look as clean,
Of course.
obviously.
Oh my
Because the
god,
game
I went to the
yeah.
website, Tyrone. I'm sorry for butting in. I
No,
went to
go
the
ahead.
website. There's a Doki Doki hat that they have
Wait,
for
what?
sale. Hold on.
Link, link, link,
Let me
link,
get you the link
link,
real quick.
link,
Hold on a
link,
second. This is an
link, link,
official
link.
Doki Doki Literature Club, and it looks.
Oh,
This shirt looks so good. Here, I'll post it for you. Look at that cap.
yeah. Oh my god.
I'm buying that when we get to do the. Oh my god! In the bottom of the hat, it has the Doki.
Yeah, it has the crew. Oh fuck yeah, I'm buying this hat. What the fuck?
Oh my god, it's a snapback hat, just to let people know.
Yes. Oh hell yes.
Oh,
I'm
there's a
getting
lot
this.
of good ones here. They have the.
I can't wait.
I can't either, man. This is, I understand that there were all these other things that everybody's going nuts about, but in all honesty, uh, I feel like the Doki Doki game, especially how much it connects with a lot of us here in this call, for Tyrone and I, and for Evie, Richie, and DJ, we all had such a beautiful experience that we can call our own, unique and whatnot. It would be just for one more time, just for old
Yeah.
time's sake. Let's end it off on a good note in a complete narrative this time with the full side stories. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We have to talk with the boys, get everything set up. This is going to be a fun experience all on its own, just to see our adventures in the world of Doki one more time.
Rylade475 says he's seen that cap at Spencer's one time. Spencer's, of course, folks, is what I like to call Hot Topic Light.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that hat is in Spencer's, in case people are wondering. So
Yes.
There's also a pre-order that you can do if you go to the Yeti as well. For like 2 days, I believe they have some shirts and pins that you can also buy as well of Monica,
Nice.
Yuri, Natsuki, and Sayori there. So it's like if you
Of
want to
course
go,
I'm getting the Sayori pins. What?
yeah. So go check on the Yeti if you want to pre-order it. There's also the Just Monica shirt and the new game shirt as well to pre-order. So if you guys want to get yourself
Yeah.
anything from Doki Doki related, now is the perfect opportunity to do so. There's also the Good Smile company that had worked with Doki Doki, and in case you don't know about that, Tyrone, there are even plushies on the characters.
Bruh.
So there's a Sayori plushie, a
Y'all
Yuri
out here
plushie.
making me spend this money.
It's like $80 for all 4 of them if you want them. They even have shirts available for you, which is like just all Monica's, all Sayori, mangas, literature too.
Natsuki was always my favorite because guess who she reminded me of?
Who?
Another tsundere we all know
Oh
and
my
love.
goodness.
Nagatoro-san. No, just
Wrong one, buddy. But
You fucking traitor. Sayori's the best.
oh man, so there's also a Doki Doki like cute cup as well. You also got some cute posters down here as well, so that's pretty cute. So yeah, if there's anything you guys ever want to check, just go to the Doki Doki website, which I believe is just ddlc.plus. If you go over there, you'll see the website, you'll see all the information, everything that you need to know, where you can purchase it, all that jazz. Have a good time with Doki. Or if you rather not know of anything and just kind of come into it completely blind, you can join us in our playthrough of it later in the future. We'll keep you guys up to date as to when.
30th, y'all.
Yeah,
June
we'll
30th.
keep you guys updated on that. No guarantees just yet because we have to make sure everybody's on board for this adventure one more time. and then from there we'll go and announce everything in full confidence. So, but yeah, so look forward to our shenanigans, and I can't wait to finally end the Doki saga in the way that I think Dan Salvato had wished he could as well, and I think he managed to do so. Even though Dan Salvato was super happy about Nintendo, literally Nintendo tweeting out the Doki Doki on their Twitter account is like saying, "Thank you, Nintendo America. You taught me long ago that video games are magical. I'm a lifelong fan, a competitive
Yeah.
Smash player, and a speedrunner of your games. So it is a dream to have your support. Let's terrify our mutual fans together."
Oh goodness.
So yeah, much love and respect.
Oh, breaking news. Inti Creates, the people who created the Blaster Master remake, so he's going to have a live stream at Wednesday night, June 16th at 11 p.m. Eastern for the it's going to be the stream net and it's going to be basically like a live stream FAQ kind of thing.
Ah, yeah, and they're going to talk about Master Blaster 3, as you said,
Yes.
03. I love
Yeah,
Master
zero
Blaster
three.
0. I haven't played 2 yet, but I really want to try that game out. I really enjoyed the first one.
My friend Jeffrey, who I went down to visit about last month, he played Blaster Master 02, and that shit looked amazing.
Yeah, it's like for
Um,
what it is, it's incredible, man. So,
yeah.
yeah, so let's see how things turn out. But now let's move on to other presentations. Why don't we then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the second thing that I would say that comes in second place in my book has to go to Devolver Digital. I have no
I
idea
love
what
them.
games
They
they
were
showed.
fun.
I know they had like
But
these,
they were fun.
but they were fun with it. Devolver Digital killed it on the comedy part of this. Like, if anybody can like say about comedy and skits and whatnot and how to do it right, pay more attention to the Devolver Digital presentation, because they nailed it 110% with what they showed off, and their humor was through the roof. That skit at the end where they had a VHS tape that literally plays the exact same thing they were
Exception.
doing, meaning that they had to film that shit again just to get that joke across, and then you find out that that film inside the TV also has a VHS tape that also had the exact same skit filmed in there as well, implying that they had to film the entire thing for a third time, and then it goes on in an endless cycle. Like, the amount of creativity that is in
It was
that,
really good.
it's incredible. Like,
That writing was amazing. I studied comedic writing, so like that shit was a treat. Like I loved every bit of that.
yeah, I think I think it's going to be interesting to see just how people overall rate Devolvers in like what placement they would have. But in my opinion, Devolver absolutely killed it. Now on the video game department, I think they did a decent job. I'm not gonna lie on that. I think their the runner game that they had right there looked pretty fun. The one where you have to like go through obstacles and all that jazz. And you're playing with against other competitors as you try to collect whatever secret magical voodoo thing is at the end of the temple. That game looked like a lot of fun. There is a con to it, however. Apparently, the game functions as if you die, you are immediately kicked out of that lobby and are going to a completely new lobby altogether.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I don't know if there'll be a function where you can play with friends. I don't think that's going to be the case because the whole gimmick is that you're supposed to move on to the next. But I guess we'll find out more when that game drops sometime later this year. Or was it next? I'm not sure. But it's coming out in the future. There's also a couple of other games that I thought were pretty cool. There was like this weird looking arcade shooter game that I thought looked pretty nice.
Oh yeah.
The one that everybody was saying that TSS would love the hell out of it, basically. What was that game called, Tyrone? If you remember it.
Uh,
I don't
wait,
remember.
what was in it again?
It was in the Devolver Digital presentation. It's that one that
Right, but
it's the top down shooter game. It's like you're in a vehicle or something and you're just shooting that shit.
Well,
oh shit.
let me
I
see.
vaguely remember.
Demon Throttle.
Yes,
Yes,
there we go.
Demon Throttle.
Demon Throttle, which I called Ikari Warriors for the NES if it didn't suck.
Oddly specific. I appreciate that though, but yeah, I think Devolver. Well, the games might have not all been great.
Also for Demon Throttle, I give them tons of praise for imitating the freaking distorted DPCM channel sound that's on the NES.
Ooh, so
100%.
yeah, they also, oh my god, I forgot. The one game that they announced in there that you cannot buy digitally, only physically.
Yeah, the advertisement for that was that you can't fucking get it. You can't get it digitally. I love the fact that that's the marketing plan.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why you would want to buy that game, because you can't get it unless you have the physical copy. Like that entire presentation that they had was just a huge jab at uh at services in general.
Yeah,
Like if you love, say Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime or all that, that's pretty much what they're joking at. Or the Xbox
yeah,
Game Pass or the PlayStation Network or even the Nintendo Switch
yeah.
Online. All of that shit was being jabbed at by Devolver, and their humor was at through the roof. Normally, I'm not a big fan of humor that tends to go on for a long amount of time. Like when you try to take a joke and then you play it too long to where it loses that like momentum.
But they just kept going and
Yeah,
going and going.
there is a skit in there that I didn't think I was gonna laugh as hard as I did, and then I did, and that's the scene where this woman's getting carried by these two buff men, the Mason
Yeah, well,
Jamoas.
it was the Mason Jamoa and the one buff woman.
Yeah, that's also called Mason Jamoa.
And she kept injecting herself with adrenaline fuel while eating chili
But
dogs.
that chili dog scene was so stupid. I don't know why I laughed so hard at that, where she just took that and you just saw her eating for like a full minute. She
Yes.
went with that joke and perfectly nailed it. I
And all
honestly
they
believe
do,
that.
they kept stealing the chili dog, even though the woman was talking about the games.
Yes. And I loved how she saw that and she's like, yeah, you could take it. Don't worry about it. So, there's so many good skits in that. If you haven't had a chance to watch the Devolver presentation, I'm pretty confident it's probably somewhere out there on YouTube. So,
Yeah, it's super funny. I love
yeah,
it.
laughter everywhere. Like, even the beginning skit when they got to throw the man out from the boarding room, and then it's like, why are you serving coffee? And the dude's like, because we want some or something like that. So,
Why are you serving coffee to everybody? Because we need coffee. Shut up.
and also the segment where it's like Devolver isn't about entertainment, it's about video games. Video games. It's like shit like that where she didn't even know what the hell she was talking about. There are so many good things in this one. So
Yeah,
Devolver
like
gets a
that's one
plus.
way. Like even though the games themselves were like okay at best, it's the team, and I feel like unfortunately this level of comedy and skit writing is weirdly placed like it's good for E3, but at the same time, I think it would have been better back if anyone remembers G4 Tech TV. This would have been perfect writing for G4 Tech TV. I would literally watch an entire series of just this. Like this, like just obviously they would show off video games, but in between that they would have like these little funny skits of this team of this like video game development team and how they bring your products to you. Like it would literally be a parody of how gaming companies work while at the same time still showing you games. G4 would have been G4 would have been perfect for that. They said,
Well,
isn't
G4 is coming
G4
back anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah, but
matter
it's not
really.
gonna be the same. It's not gonna be the same. It's you can't recreate that era. Like you can bring back the channel, but you can't recreate the era. It's no, now that we have,
I would say this fits the original G4, not G4 Tech TV, because Tech TV in itself was a better product.
well, so here's why it won't happen. Here's why G4 is not gonna like. If it comes back, it's not gonna be the same because G4 was out during a time where the internet was still like kind of limited. So
Yeah.
when you watched it, you got this like special sense of viewing that obviously couldn't be viewed anywhere else. And now that we have so much access to the internet, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to translate well. It's not going to be the same. You're not going to get that same moment from like X Play and Attack of the Show and Cheaters and
To be honest,
Judgment Day and yeah, you're not going to get that same feeling.
to be honest, it was X Play. X Play was better when it was on Tech TV, and also the Screensavers is a better show than Attack
Yeah,
of
the
the Show.
screensavers, Attack of the Show. Yeah, oh, yeah, exactly. You're not gonna get that same magic, unfortunately. Like I hate to say it, but Like they brought, it's just like when they brought
I,
Toonami back. Like Toonami's good, the lineup's good. The problem is we can watch anime anytime we fucking want now. So
yeah.
Toonami's nowhere near as magical as it used to be back then because like I'm not gonna sit around and watch
I mean, it's the same.
commercials
I
and
mean, to be fair, it's like the same thing when like fucking like the 24-hour shows, the 24-hour channels like Disney Junior, right?
yeah,
It's like,
like
well,
unfortunately the internet has spoiled us, unfortunately.
yeah,
So yeah, like congrats for G4 for coming back, but I don't think it's gonna I don't think it's gonna really like
Live
it's
up
not
to
gonna
what they
hit.
had.
It's not. Yeah, it's not gonna hit. It's not gonna hit. It's gonna be media. Now, if Devolver's heavily involved with G4, then maybe. But
Nah, I think
nah,
Devolver's humor works best when they only come for once a
at
year for this.
83.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Let them have their reign at
Now,
E3.
I remember when E3 played during G4. That shit was popping. Oh my god, it was so fucking good.
yeah.
Because then, like in between presentations, you have commercials talking about games and shit. You would have Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb talking about the shit that's happening like in real time. You would have like these little segments of stuff that's happening on the side. Like, oh man, it was fucking crazy. And then they would show expos, and then in between all of that, if there isn't a presentation going on, they show people like playing the new games while they were still on the screens. That oh my god, it was great. I loved that moment. That was oh man, I missed G4 when they did E3. It was so good. It was so. It just goes to show what time has done. Unfortunately,
But it also gets to show you that maybe, we were born in the right time after all to
yeah,
experience these sort of
yeah,
things. Because you'll
yeah,
Yeah.
never see something like this ever happen again in this era. Well, not
yeah,
to like the level of how things were before. It'll
Yeah.
still do good in the current timeline, but there's just something magical about the before days. Like, I even
yeah,
joke about saying, like, you never truly lived unless you got a chance to play Mario Kart Double Dash LAN mode, 16 players. Like if you've never done that, man, you're missing out on a
And you haven't
magical
you and
experience.
you haven't lived until you actually played Unreal Tournament in an actual LAN party at a LAN in
It
fucking
yeah,
2000 in the early 2000s.
there are some experiences that you just need to see and be a part
yeah,
of, and one day we'll get more into that, but like
Yeah.
I think it's just like it's like that. G4 was in the right time, in the right
yeah,
atmosphere with
Same
E3
thing
and
with
all that.
Tech TV before Vulcan Ventures sold it to G4.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, overall, Devolver really thumbs up in my book. Thumbs down a little bit for the games, but you seem to really understand that. Yeah, the games aren't really what we come here for.
Yeah.
It's those skits. But those games
Yeah.
were a nice little bonus treat. I'll give you that. So,
all
all
right.
right, moving on into third place. I'm gonna skip some events because honestly, some of them we're not really gonna go too far into. I don't think anybody's really gonna talk much about the Back for Blood or the Steam Next Fest, which I think was.
I'm looking forward to Back for Blood. I want to make that very clear. Like that's gonna be a really good
Well,
Halloween. That's gonna be a damn good Halloween
that's
stream.
because Turtle Rock it's a Turtle Rock Studios game. It's Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah, it's Left
Yeah,
4
it's
Dead
Left
3
100%.
4
without
Dead
being
3.
called that.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, it's Left 4 Dead 3, and we're definitely gonna. When we played Left 4 Dead 2 for the Halloween streams, it was a fucking ball. So I can't wait to play Back for Blood during the next Halloween stream.
Yeah. So let's go and move on into third place then, why don't we? In my opinion, I had to struggle with these two because I didn't know which one was worse. But honestly, I'm going to give it to Ubisoft for third place. And the reason why is because despite a lot of the technical issues that some of the games had, especially like the first game that they showed where like the monsters appeared but they did shit even though you were in front of their face, like I still believe the games that they had in there were still very entertaining. Like the sports game that we saw, where they had like mixed skills going on, where you get to see like snowboarding, or you get to see gliding, or you get to see biking. Like they had so many cool elements in that one. You cannot deny that sports game looks like a lot of fun to play because it was all happening in real time. I think it looks genuinely fun. And then of course the Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope game that they announced, which was unfortunately leaked before the presentation, but I don't think it ruined the charm of the trailer that we got. And I thought that trailer was also really nice, as well as the return of Davide, the man himself that many people might remember from that Mario and Rabbids E3 presentation that they had back in 2017, I think it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of good shit. So I do believe that certain things on Ubisoft's presentation was still pretty weak. Like I didn't really care much about their mobile shit or care much about the other games that they had going on there. But for the most part, I did believe that they at least were more polished in this presentation than say the one that's in next place and or dead last. I'd say.
Yeah, yeah.
So well, I don't know. I don't really have much to say on this presentation. The Mario and Rabbids one was the one that I really enjoyed a lot,
Oh,
and
that was dope.
yeah, and Rosalina. I love Rosalina, and in the Rabbids form. Like, if you ever want to see mood, that Rosalina Rabbit is perfectly.
Rosalina Rabbit is a mood, a whole mood.
Yeah, and the gameplay just looks so polished. Like, and that's an alpha beta mode, by the way. So that looked
Yeah.
great. Oh yeah, the dude floating down the stairs at the end in the rabbits skit was hilarious too. Where he's just like walking down the stairs, but he's not really. He's just going frame by frame. That shit was great. Davide, like I already said, he was great. I love that guy. He's such a charismatic person. So overall, all fun. I can't wait to see what that game has to offer. Now, anybody in this call has anything to say about Ubisoft? Because personally,
No.
like I said, I don't have
I don't give a
nada.
fuck. I completely forgot everything they showed. I'm gonna be 100 with you.
Okay.
I forgot everything. Yeah, it almost feels like a bad fever dream. I completely forgot Ubisoft's presentation.
Yeah.
That means
And
they
Omar,
did
yes,
nothing.
I agree with that statement.
Yes.
So somebody like in the chat, somebody in the Twitch chat, type something from Ubisoft because I fucking can't remember.
Like I said, the
Also,
only one I can remember was that sports game, and I don't even remember the name of that sports game.
By
Yeah,
the
I
way,
can't remember either.
in the going back to Xbox One real quick. Remember that snowboarding game we saw? That looks fucking great.
Oh shit, yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah,
from
right.
Xbox, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh my god, like they're like the sports games are getting a revival in
Yeah,
my
it
eyes.
looks
Well, that's
like
because they're
a
adding so
spiritual.
much. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I mean, I was saying that looks like that basically looks like an SSX tricky game, that SSX game.
Oh
The
shit,
reason
Ubisoft
sports
did the
games-
Avatar, right?
Yeah,
I
the
don't give a
Avatar
shit about
game,
that.
which we don't give a fuck
Yeah,
about.
nobody gives a shit about that. I know why the sports games are getting so hyped. Well, one, the graphics look better, obviously, and two, they're adding ridiculous shit to them to make them more involved.
Hey, multiplayer snowboarding, I'll be up for that shit.
Yeah, like the sports game that we were talking about with the Giant Sports Festival, the gliders had fucking rockets on them and like there was so many different mini games and shit. Yeah, they went out of their way to make it feel like one of those old school sporting games where like it wasn't just a sport. You could also do other funny shit on the side. So
Yeah.
that's probably why. That's probably why the sports games are slapping so hard this year.
Ubisoft, I
Because
think,
they're
are the
not
king of
just generic.
sports games. I'd like to think. It's just
Yeah,
is there
yeah.
enough like enticement to play it is the real question.
Yeah, I'm not a sports fan.
Oh
but-
no, the Ubisoft sports game is a live service? No.
Goodbye.
Fuck.
Damn, well, at least we got Xbox's snowboarding game then.
Yeah. We need to probably get that one at some point.
Yeah.
So I think though the Square one's next because
Yeah,
Because
it's not
fuck
dead
Capcom,
last.
like,
It is
fuck-
not
like
dead
fuck
last.
Capcom. We're gonna talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem is I think Square Enix has become Marvel Studios. You know, there was an image that was on Google, that was on Twitter, that somebody replaced the Square Enix letters with Marvel Studios, and that's what the fuck it was. 20 minutes on the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy game. Are you fucking kidding me?
That was bullshit.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And
You wanna know what
also,
the worst
that
part
wasn't
was,
the only
TSF?
Mario Studios game because they also had the Avengers also shown off in
But-
that thing.
Yeah, they were doing the Black Panther DLC, which we already knew was coming out any fucking way because they told us it was coming out. And you want to know what the worst part about the Guardians of the Galaxy was? I actually liked the Guardians of the Galaxy game when I first saw it. Like when I first saw the trailer for the first 5 minutes, I was like, "This is pretty cool," and the writing is actually kind of funny. 15 minutes later, I'm like, "I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. I don't want to see any more Guardians. I've seen enough."
I feel like
seen
I played
enough.
the game.
Right, exactly. I've seen enough. Y'all didn't play the fucking thing for me. Shit.
And then of course you had all that shit, and then you had another fucking, what was it, 5 minutes dedicated to what, the
Life is Strange?
Life is Strange 2, right?
Oh
And
no,
and,
no,
and,
no!
and
It
it's
wasn't
really
Life is Strange 2. It was the Life is Strange remaster collection.
remastered,
and then they did Life
remastered.
is Strange in color, and I'm like, you
Yeah,
already showed us this shit in the Sony and
yeah.
the Square Enix spring presentation. So why
My,
are you showing it us again?
my favorite one from that one was call out whoever for bullshit. Somebody should take that screen cap and put call out Square Enix for their bullshit, because that's what this whole thing is.
Now
Yeah, that
listen,
was
man. No disrespect to Life is Strange, but the thing that I had an issue with, they had that presentation shown off back at spring. You didn't need to
exactly that
spend
was my
5 to 6
problem.
minutes on it at the
On
Square
it, yeah.
Enix Presents, because that didn't deserve it. Or it
Oh
deserves a
yeah.
trailer, but not a whole presentation conference
Another
like
thing.
that.
Exactly.
One thing that I could give them credit for, and on the same token, not, is we're finally going to get um one Final Fantasies 1 through 6 2D pixel remaster. Okay, we're
Yeah,
getting that, and
we
I
are,
saw that and I was like, yeah, that's great, that's great. But then
but
after the conference, they said, oh, by the way, so not only this is only going to be on fucking Steam and mobile, they're going to be individual games, and that's pisses me off. Pisses me off. However, though, there's one saving grace, and that is we will finally get a 2D version of fucking Final Fantasy 3, because the only version that you can get for Final Fantasy 3 on Steam right now is the fucking 3D remake. And actually, they show pictures of the remastered HUD and the graphics, and it actually does look good. And that if you go look in that trailer, it looks good. But I'm hoping that they're gonna give us another option of maybe you'll play in classic mode or you play in remastered mode. If they do that, and also has to not be more than $10. If it's more than fucking $10, we're not doing this. We're not fucking doing this. We
yeah,
ain't fucking doing this. Like, no.
that's
Nope.
dumb. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's more than $10 a game, that means you gotta pay fucking $60. If it give me more
Yeah,
than 60
that's
fucking dollars, I'm not fucking
yeah,
paying
that's
that.
$60
Like, fuck
if you're
no.
gonna buy all six. Yeah,
Nope.
that's stupid.
Eh, nope. Wrong. Ain't gonna
Yeah,
do it.
yeah, I saw a lot of complaints on Twitter that these weren't on consoles. Like the only way you can get these is PC. Final Fantasy already has a hard enough time getting all the versions from their
Yes.
original forms. Like the
Yeah.
first 6 Final Fantasies are literally, we went through this. TSS Terrell and I went through all of it. The first 6 Final Fantasy games, if you don't have a PC, are literally impossible to get.
Yeah. The only other platform that you can get all 6 games is fucking PS3.
Yeah.
Yep, it's the only one.
That you can
So
get all of them in a decent
you-
fashion. We don't count the GBA because we don't count the GBA and DS because they don't have them all.
Yeah, they
But-
only have up to 4. I counted. They only have up to 4. They have the first
Yeah.
2 as a collection. Then they randomly have 3 and 4, but they're not together. And
Yeah.
that's it. That's all you get. You get 3 and 4 separately, and you get 1 and 2 as a combo in one Game Boy Advance cartridge.
Yeah,
Fucking weird.
that's right.
So
And,
That's right.
I know there was
Yeah.
another game, Babylon's Fall. I'm so mad with
shit, I
that.
forgot about
They
that.
killed it in the pres. How do you kill a game before it
You
comes out?
kill a fucking Platinum Games game. How the fuck do you do that? They
How-
fucked it up.
The Platinum Games are considered some of the goats of gaming. Like they were the ones
Yeah.
that gave us the Bayonetta franchise. They had
Yeah.
Astral Chain on Switch. I mean, the
Yes.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, the Transformers. Like Platinum Games is a heavy hitter, and Square Enix was like, "How do we fuck up their reputation? I know.
Fuck this
Let's
stuff."
make Babylon's Fall a live service game." And I was like, and then they tried to do some Van Doe looking esque background shit with their coloring. Like, I want you guys to look at the original Babylon Fall trailer that came out a while ago, and then look at the new current one. Everything changed in that game, and I have no idea what the hell happened, man. That game looks so unpolished. It looks so horrible. It is one of Platinum's worst looking games in my books, man. I'm ashamed by that, and I'm sad to see that Square Enix did Platinum so dirty like that. They killed that game before it even came out, and that's what pisses me off the most. It doesn't deserve that. It did not. But I guess the other game we should probably talk about, which I know there were other ones, like the what was it, the Trial of Mana or whatever it was. which we already
Yeah.
knew about beforehand. So it's not really
Yeah,
a big deal.
they just said, "Oh, just
Mhm.
it's coming out. It's coming out like next month,
Yeah.
this
So
month."
the
Yeah.
last one we should talk about from this presentation is the Final Fantasy Origins
Oh God.
that
Oh
game.
yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
so we got an
Oh
official
my God.
screenshot I'll show on screen right here.
That
Yeah,
plus a
let's.
dollar, plus a dollar, plus a dollar.
Yeah, so
Ah.
I just want to phrase something that I saw
Uh,
somebody tweet about online, and I thought this is the perfect
Son of a
way to
bitch,
describe.
OG.
This is the perfect representation about this game in general, and I love this image because of it. Let me go and switch it up real quick just to show off this image right here, and then also read the text that accompanied said image because this shit had me laughing my
I
ass off
have
the
a
whole way
slight
through.
problem with the cast already. We already have like a dudes go out Final Fantasy game. It's called Final Fantasy 15. So it's
Yes.
weird to see another dudes go out game.
Here's my favorite description somebody said. If I had to describe artistic tonal dissonance in one image, it is this. Motherfucker looks like he rolled in from Kmart to beat ass at an anime convention.
And the worst part is there's a three shot before he punches this guy, the punches this thing, right? And
Yes.
they all and all the models look like they're from fucking different games because the fucking shading is off on all of them.
I think I
Boy,
have
It's
the set
fucking
image here. Let
it's
me see.
fucking bad.
It's
boy,
It's
this one.
you're
It's
fucking
this
wearing,
bad.
one. Yeah.
It's
boy,
fucking
you're
bad.
wearing
Yeah, look
straight Gucci.
look at the fucking like the lighting effects on all three of those characters.
I love it.
They're
When you
completely fucking different. Like look
when
at that shit.
when y'all went to an anime convention but forgot how to cosplay.
So you just bring as the
Look at
big
that.
ass sword.
Like look at that. That's really fucking bad. That's really bad.
Hey, TSS, you want to know what game this would be perfect on? Just thinking about it.
What?
On the PlayStation 2, that shit looks great.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
Somebody made an image
There
of
it
that shit.
goes.
I love the cameo little logo at the bottom right there. That was so stupid.
I love it.
Yeah, because that's proof that's a fucking discount game.
When
God.
when your customizable outfit doesn't fit the theme, but your stats go up. Oh my god, it looks so out of place. What the fuck?
It's fucking bad.
But
It's
that
really
It's
box
fucking
art looks
bad.
great. So yeah,
It looks so fucking bad.
I love that they're calling the main character an Eminem ripoff looking character.
You better lose your mind with your HP and
Somebody
your
did a
HP
rap
and
version of that. Yeah, like legitimately,
Yeah.
they replaced one of Eminem's songs for that.
You're using fire guns now. Go. You only get one shot. The health's gonna get real low. This opportunity comes once in a turn.
Better lose. You see. All right, so
Oh.
last but not least, let's talk about the
Yeah,
dead
let's do it.
last competition. Why don't we? The one that's at the
Yeah.
grand finale. And I don't really need to give much mention to it because
boring.
I have no words. I had no words from that presentation. Let's talk about Capcom, man.
Jesus, what is happening with E3?
I want to say you're feeling the effects of COVID, man.
It
You're
has to be.
really feeling them
It
effects of
has
the
to
Backstreet
be.
Boys.
That's the
really
only
hard.
thing I can think of.
And listen, I ain't have anything disrespect whatsoever. You know, they're trying their best. But this is one of those events that I honestly feel would have been better had all of these events not been split to their own individuals. I think there were certain things,
Wait,
especially.
but then what about Devolver and Microsoft?
No,
Now
no,
that
no,
somebody
no. That's
just
what I'm
brought it
saying.
up.
No, I'm saying, like, imagine, like, I think things would have been better had all of the Square Enix shit been shown off in various platforms. Like, say, with Nintendo Switch, like, there are some games that they showed off on their presentation that are coming to the Switch. That shit should have been on the Nintendo presentation. The Guardians of the Galaxy should have been in the Microsoft presentation, minus the interview at the end, of course. But like there are things like I think had all of these events not been separated and been more like concise in other streams like Microsoft's, I think it
Yeah.
could have worked off better.
Right.
But because you separated every single one to your own individual little presentation, the amount of excitement that fans are going to have are going to go skyrocket because they're like, oh my God, you know, it has to be big if, say, Microsoft is not going to have Square Enix in their things and Square Enix is doing their own presentation. It has to be huge, you know? That's the people mindset that are gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if you put them in like Microsoft's presentation, all that, nobody's gonna go crazy, or maybe they'll just
Also,
get excited.
also strike one to fucking Capcom, because when they put the VOD up, because I was watching the VOD, they didn't trim the fucking intro screen, so you have 12 minutes of just the fucking intro screen.
Oh, so
Like,
you
dude,
had to go through that whole 12-minute thing before you get to the other shit?
yes.
God damn it, man! This shit is.
It's
Son of
just a
bitch.
it's like no fucking sound for 12 minutes. Like
Yeah.
like dude, like have you ever heard of the fucking YouTube editor? Like dude, it's not like you're gonna have people wait 12 minutes for a fucking screen to disappear. Like, no.
No,
And you
thank
don't
you.
even edit it after the fucking fact, and that's stupid. But no. Fuck no.
Fuck that. Fuck you.
Oh my god, what's going on?
Everybody's
We're talking
mad
about
at
E3.
Crapcom. I guess that's what everyone's
Crapcom.
calling.
Oh yeah, that was a waste of fucking time.
I never seen you so exhausted from that presentation.
I was
man.
so angry. And I knew, and to be fair, they said, "Oh, these are the games we're touching." But like, if you're gonna have a stream for it, I'm thinking at least 1, 2 surprises at the very least.
Where like
And
they
all
could
I'm
have been
looking
redeemed if they just had the Mega Man Battle Network collection,
Nope.
because that's
Listen.
the shit that I've been waiting for this entire year.
my thing was simple. Like, you're having an E3 stream. It's E3. All
Also-
you got to do is put out some level of new content. The only thing that could be considered new is DLC for Resident Evil 8, which they're
Yeah.
just starting development on, which means we
Now.
won't fucking see it for
Yeah.
like another year or at the end of the year. So I'm like, what
Oh.
the fuck was the point?
Also, seizure-inducing fucking video editing on that as well. First of all, you had the fucking stupid side camera shit, which doesn't fucking work, and then you have like fucking like when they go into the games, they have some fucker playing around with fucking Vegas, and then you have have like you replay the last fucking 10 seconds of the woman talking from the side angle. Fuck that.
Damn.
Fuck that. Fuck this conference. Go to hell.
The only
Damn.
cool thing that we already knew about, and I figured they were going to go into it, was a Great Ace Attorney, because those games were Japanese exclusive until recently. So I'm glad they went into more information about them. But my thing is like, this is
already know
worse
it's
than
coming.
it's almost worse than it's worse than Square's, just because you didn't have any new content.
Yeah.
Damn.
No surprises. You told us what was coming, and even then, you stated Resident
They
Evil 8 is.
shat the bed on this one.
They said specifically in there, Resident Evil is going to be in there, and the only thing you gave us was a text, which is it.
Yeah,
No
you didn't
ladies
even give
me
us.
Chris.
I thought they were going to at least talk about Resident Evil 4 VR, even if it wasn't a remake. And I'm like, you didn't even show that. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. What was the point? What was the fucking point? Spoiler, there was no point.
It really makes me concerned, because if all these other companies are having this issue, who's to say Nintendo is also not on that same boat as well?
No, they will save us. All right.
Either Nintendo or Bandai will somehow come through with this, and we'll see.
Ironically enough, it's more convenient for Tyrone for them not to save us, because then it's like, that's why I didn't need to take off, you bitches.
Yeah.
then you be justified in your lack of taking off. So I'm like,
I just come back and Twitter's like on fire. Whoa.
I mean,
what
it was already on fire just after the stupid ass, like, oh, by the way, Capcom had nothing to show, and everyone's just like, bruh.
I like the picture that they said of Monster Hunter doing the crossover of Monster Hunter, and it just shows Obama putting a medal on Obama.
Oh, it's one of the dumb. It's like, oh, here's some Capcom crossovers. I'm like, cool. And I'm like, what's the first crossover? Oh, for a game that isn't out yet with another game that just came out. And I'm like, Capcom, you have a huge legacy of characters. Who the fuck cares? Like,
And also
where's the
they
Mega
waste-
Man outfit?
And also,
Jesus
they wasted like 5 minutes on the fucking Capcom, the Capcom fighting thing, which
What
like,
was
like,
Oh, it was like-
that
it felt
about?
nothing
more like
fucking
10.
new.
It felt more like 10, honestly.
Damn.
Yeah.
You didn't even announce the other fucking DLC
You didn't-
characters for Street
yeah.
Fighter 5.
Didn't announce the DLC character, and not even a teaser for SF6, even if it's gonna be coming or not.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, E3 so far has
Fuck
been
'em.
pretty lackluster this
Garbage.
entire year. Like, there
Fuck
have
'em.
been some pros in this event. but the cons just outshadow all the good shit that's in here.
Yep.
From the snowboarding games to Battlefield legitimately looking good to say what was it
Also, I gotta resubscribe.
thank you so much for this resubscription. They were
This
tied.
E3 has convinced me to get a
And me
Game
too.
Pass. That's all.
Yeah, so and I mean that's also on PC, so you don't need to get it on Xbox.
That's what I'm saying.
Although
I'm getting it.
I will say I do want to buy me an Xbox Series S though.
I don't believe. Oh, that doesn't mean nothing to me for years.
No, I want
you
to do
don't-
it for the emulation because that shit looks.
Yes.
Yeah, the emulation looks incredible in that.
Yeah,
shit.
but the thing is, though, you could already do that.
I know,
Exactly.
but I just want a nice little white brick thing in my back here, just so.
No, just buy. Just it's called buy a fucking Xbox Series X controller.
Damn,
Done.
man.
Damn, son.
And hook it, and it's called take your other HDMI and plug it into the TV. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Let's talk about Journeys.
The journey starts.
That's how bad E3 was.
Let's talk about the fucking dub opening for about a couple of minutes.
Wait. I need to go look. Oh yeah, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna look at it.
Go listen to it. It's fucking garbage.
Well, at least
Really?
I didn't
Okay.
fall asleep this time.
Hey, you're
Hey,
awake,
Polly.
buddy. Thank you. First of all,
Yes.
Polly, thank you for listening to us just ramble for like the next 1 hour there at the end.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but now, of course, we got to talk about journeys. We got to talk about all the shit that came down within this
Right.
at the end. And it seems like a lot of people are going nuts on Twitch chat right now because apparently everybody got hit with 9-minute ads.
So the new opening is called "A Journey to Your Heart," and the problem is it's 30 seconds with some interspersed footage. The biggest problem that I have with it is number one, it sounds like a mashup of like iCarly and fucking Hannah Montana if you bought it from the 99-cent store, and the fucking Pokemon at the end sounds like somebody falling down a flight of fucking stairs. Come on, you know. It sounds somebody, and then Ebo did a great mashup with freaking Peter Griffin falling down the stairs. That's fucking perfect.
But man, so yeah, the dub opening, it exists. It just exists. Also, in case you're wondering, Serena sings that song, aka
Yes.
Haven Pascal. I think that's how you announce it.
1 hour.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that was a song. So
Yeah.
TSS, the singer, was tased.
Pokemon, just like that.
Pokemon.
I mean,
Oh,
the
yeah,
fuck,
no, at the
the
end.
fucked up part is that wasn't even the ending wasn't even on time. It was so fucking jarring.
Pokemon.
Yes, I did. I just mentioned it, Ebo.
I think
know.
I think Evo got hit with the ads while you were saying that.
Yes. I watched it and I love Peter Griffin falling down the stairs because that's pretty much what it is.
All right, so now
Yes,
I think with that being
that.
said, shall we get ourselves ready to get into the review for tonight?
Let's go.
All right, ladies and gents, welcome one and all to our weekly review of the PM 2019 anime series. This week's episode focuses on the fat fucking rodent man, Mr. Morpeko himself, and James too, surprisingly. This is a Team Rocket-esque opening, or episode, I should say. It has
This episode features the fat rodent.
Yeah.
Also, Morpeko.
And also Morpeko, yeah. So, yeah, this episode, I mean, listen, I'm gonna say this right now. I enjoy Morpeko. I think the reason why I enjoyed Morpeko more in this episode was because Morpeko had shown. Oh, wow, I'm saying more a lot in this one, but Morpeko had been shown off frequently these past couple of episodes. We got to see a little bit more of it. Here's my criticisms on it. Morpeko is as basic as a Pokemon could be because he's just this generic, personality-wise kind of character. He's only known for this one trope. He's cute when he's not hungry. He's hangry when he's hungry. And that's as far as that shit will go. And I'm kind of happy to see James got the Morpeko. Although what confuses me is how come Morpeko is just so happy to suddenly be with James and the others, and yet we've never seen those kind of interactions
Needed to be
before.
written that way today.
Yeah, because
Also,
like,
listen to the opening.
oh yeah, Terrell, what'd you think of it?
I don't understand why it sounds like it's starting in the middle of it. And then I was like, ironically enough, I don't think the track is bad. I think the problem is by the time it gets decent, it's at the end of it, which is already 30 seconds, so it's already short as hell. I would very much want to hear a full version because I don't
It's garbage.
I don't find it really offensive. I don't understand what the problem is.
The problem is it sounds like some fucking supermarket shit in fucking Z100 that you just go
I
to
would
the store and
argue the current version of 123 is the worst version of that. And
yes, and I agree. Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
it very much sounds like that, unfortunately. So like the difference is
You realize that the last English opening though was "Journey Starts Today."
are you asking me that? Are you asking me that of all people? You talking about the guy
I didn't ask you anything. I'm saying my criticisms. I'm saying when you realize that the last opening was "Journey Starts Today," and then you follow it up with this, no.
Well, if it's the mediocrity of the show.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, in the current season that we're in with that one, yeah.
I'm not really. I don't understand the anger towards it. I'm pretty. It's
No, I don't think anybody's like mad. It's just more so you follow up what you had a good one previously, and it felt like you were making the step in the right direction in your production.
Yeah, but Journey Starts Today was the exception. The rule ever since probably, maybe
since Goldfarb Pokemon. Since Goldfarb.
Yeah,
Pokemon.
I haven't thought an opening was amazing since pretty much since the new
Battle Frontier.
Yeah, Battle Frontier was the last amazing opening I enjoyed. Like fucking, I liked some of the X and Y and
even Battle Frontier to me felt like I was like, we're losing the rock and starting to get into the soft part.
Like for me personally, like all the post ones, and I've enjoyed some of the post Diamond and Pearl ones. They've just kind of been okay. This kind of fits in line with that. It's mediocre. I feel like it could be better if it didn't feel like it started in the middle of the track and then like by the time it starts getting good, it's the last 5 seconds of the damn opening. I'm like, I feel like a full version of this would be better. I very much. I feel like they picked the wrong part of the song to make.
They're not gonna do that.
Not well. The only time they would ever do it is for a movie, and since the movies don't do the traditional shit movies do anymore, like it'll never. I would love to hear a full version. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Chad brought up a good point. It's like this kind of reminds me of Under the Alolan Moon, where it's like it progressively gets better, and then it just stops. It just abruptly stops.
That's a really good comparison.
This is one of the reasons why I'm actually really mad that we don't get series or movies based on like where Ash and the others are in the series. Because I would love a Pokemon movie where Ash and Koharu got to go to like some island or some shit, and they played all of Journey Starts Today, like a full movie version. That would be fucking awesome.
That's only because you like the song, not because.
I liked back in the okay. So let me point this out. In movies 1, 2, and 3, I like when they played the full version of an opening while they were doing shit. Like for example, the first movie, Ash is fighting some dude, and the second movie, Ash and the others are like on a boat. I think they're on like a boat while they're playing the Pokemon World remix. In the third movie, he has a full 6-on-6 battle with the Apom chick.
Don't forget the fourth movie as well, where they had the remix of the opening as well. That was also a battle as well.
That was a battle.
The
guy with the crocodile.
And then of course the famous opening 5 with Master Quest, and that is still the
I think they were having a race, weren't they?
Yes, they were having the water race while Master Quest was playing.
Yeah, I liked that stuff though. I liked stuff like that, but we don't get current movies anymore where they keep track of what Ash and the others are doing. So like
the only thing we got for that, Tyrone, was movie 20, and you already know how movie 20 is. So.
Well, the irony is that Journey Starts Today has a full version, so I'm curious. Maybe I'll get a full version of this anyway.
Well, it's done.
The thing is though, the difference there is that Journey Starts Today were written by people outside of the TPCI circle, as opposed to here where it's written inside.
Oh, is it? Okay, all right, never mind.
It's got Goldfarb.
Yeah, it is done by what was it? The Sad Truth, I think it was.
I'm weird. Maybe I'm weird, but I just like those montages.
As a Christian choir? Holy shit. Yeah. Oh god, that's hilarious.
Maybe I'm weird. I just like those montages that happen at the beginning of the movie to help you get an idea of who the cast is and get an idea of who the Pokemon are, and like
I see what you're going for, Tyrone, but I don't
the mood of the movie.
I understand what you're going for, Tyrone. It just doesn't really work because they're not just the full version of the song. You're getting a remix, which is why in some cases I prefer the movie version because it's a complete different remix of the song. It's not even the same person singing it. Also,
Yeah.
If I remember right, didn't X and Y's first movie do
Yes,
the opening?
they did do the,
Yeah,
but
they
it's
did.
based
They,
off
like,
song
Ash-
1, so we already.
Yeah, and Ash was
Yeah.
having a battle with Astrid, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Astrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They also had the Stand Tall song, I think, and what was the other one? X, Y, and
Hate
Z.
Stand
Yeah,
Tall.
Ash was fighting Clement in the Stand Tall one.
I hate Stand Tall.
Well, now
I
you
love
got
I
an
like,
extended version.
I like Be a Hero, but I hate Stand Tall.
Did Be a Hero ever get a full version?
opposite.
Stand Tall, fuck it.
I
sucks.
don't know.
The only
I
problem.
mean,
the only-
it's a difference of opinion, but I always
yeah,
like
the only thing I find is that in the Goldfarb era, they find a way to freaking parody other freaking artists, and it doesn't work. Like Be a Hero is a fucking it's a rip off of the Now I'm Here opening riff from Queen, and then freaking Under the Alolan Moon is a freaking Beyonce rip off.
Yeah, I was like, Under the Alolan Moon sounds like a Destiny Child song, which is probably the reason why I probably like it, because it. Whereas fucking, I haven't listened to enough Queen, but Be a Hero, I enjoy immensely.
What's Under the Alolan Sun then?
That one actually sounds the closest to like the theme of Alola. Like I don't necessarily like the song, but I thought it fit Alola really well.
And the last opening for the dub wise actually was also pretty decent too. Which
what
was
the hell was that one?
I don't remember. Under
Okay.
something
I can't
like
remember
the
either.
rainbow, something like
Rise
that.
to the challenge.
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember that at all.
Yeah,
Trash.
Yeah, but like Sun and Moon openings, I
Your
barely
song
remember.
is trash, bro.
It's funny because I
Oh,
know there's
Rise
so
to
much
the
hate.
challenge, yeah.
I know there's so much hatred towards the Sun and Moon openings. I don't really see the offensiveness of them for the most part. I like the first two. All right.
Dallas Store Lion King, exactly. Yeah.
No, the issue with them, just like what you were talking about, Terrell, and the best way to describe most of these openings is just that they sound like they're gonna get good, and then it just abruptly stops.
Yeah, I would say towards the end of this current opening, it sounds like it's about to get good, and then the fucking opening stops, and I'm kind of like,
yeah, it's like the journey to your heart, Pokemon. I'm like, whoa,
yeah, no,
what
just
the
like that.
Reminds me of.
It makes me mad because it makes me think that there's a full version of it, and they literally just cut it up badly.
It's
That's
like-
what it feels like.
It's like if you go on Amazon Music or you go on Apple Music and you get the fucking 30-second preview. That's what the fuck this is.
That is a perfect description of that shit.
What
Yeah.
frustrates me is that they don't have to keep it at 30 seconds anymore, right? Because now it's on.
They never did.
can.
They never did.
They never did.
They never had to. Remember, the old openings were like what, a minute or something.
That was just a weird writer's choice.
A minute, and then it was 45 seconds. The reason why they had to do it because commercial TV in North America has more commercials now.
That's,
Well, they gotta-
that's
yeah,
what I
they
was
gotta
saying,
have-
Cartoon Network. Like,
Yeah, they got to add more.
Oh, that's true. Because even
The first time using Audacity. That dude's fucking Audacity.
that's true. That's true. Because Tyrone, you can go look up for any of the Adult Swim anime. Their openings are cut down, even though it was the original Japanese.
thank you.
Yeah.
I knew I was right.
So they
Yeah,
don't
like the
even know
Funimation shit and all that.
yeah, so it's really jarring for certain openings. Like if you're a fan of Attack on Titan's first opening, it does not do
I
the full
will
opening.
fucking kill a bitch. I hate that fucking cut.
It's so awkward. It's such an awkward transition, and it's the Japanese, so it's like, oh, this sounds weird.
Nope.
The whole point of an opening is for it to build up to its like it has a.
But Gago
beginning,
makes the point.
a
We're on
middle,
Netflix.
and an
There's
end.
no reason for that now.
That is true. It's also being
We're on
shown into
Netflix.
Netflix. Actually, no, it's
Yeah.
being shown on Teletoon. So there you go.
Yeah, but it's still a Netflix show. Like you could
No,
easily
actually,
make
it's on Teletoon right now. It never came out on Netflix yet this recent season.
No, it's not.
this recent season. Okay,
Mhm.
but still, you got
That's
the
Journey,
the
which is
Netflix
kind-
version.
which is
The
kind of-
Netflix
which is
version
kind
have
of
a
a
longer
problem.
opening.
which is a kind of a problem because if you look at the acronym of Pokemon Master Journeys, it's basically like the Pokemon
Such a bad name.
it's a bad acronym because it's actually like it sounds like a Pokemon jaw disorder.
You're the only one who would say that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I didn't even think about
Well,
that.
yeah,
Pokemon
because
Master
the
Journeys, what like that?
yeah because
I'm just
like,
saying
Tuesday?
it's just a bad title because it doesn't sound good. That's my problem.
but it's TMJ is the jaw disorder.
Yeah,
So
you know what? The
Pokemon
next
jaw
season,
disorder.
the next season should be called Pokemon Masters EX Journey. There you go. I'm just.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh Lord.
It
Come
just
on,
sounds
look.
awkward.
It is.
Yeah, it does sound awkward. That's the problem.
That's the whole point, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had an episode to talk about, by the way.
Oh,
Shit about
God.
Morpeko.
No.
Okay.
I have thoughts, obviously.
I do too.
I would
They mirror KG's.
I would assume you do, Tyrone. I would hope so.
Otherwise, yeah, you would be on here.
Okay, here's my criticism about this episode, man. The stupid pigeon, man. Stupid
Oh, fucking Pidgeotto.
Pidgeotto. Yeah, so I love how Pidgeotto just stood still while the ball just yeeted to his face. Like the whole gimmick was it flying away all the time, which at least
Yeah, but that joke was running its course. That's why they
yeah, that
finally
shit
stopped.
went on through multiple episodes. This wasn't the first episode this thing.
It
I know,
wasn't
but that's why they said, all right, we're done with that dumb joke.
The problem is that it wasn't an interesting joke to begin with.
It wasn't. Yeah.
So, oh well. But overall, in my opinion, I found it okay. I still found some moments memorable because it is James, and I think James is honestly one of the best characters in Pokemon. Not just this series. I mean, like in Pokemon in general.
Yes.
And James and Morpeko's development that they had was great. My issue is Morpeko, despite having a lot more screen time, didn't have the certain particular screen time I was looking for before we got to this episode, and that was interactions between its comfy form, its cute form, and Team Rocket. Because all the time we see Team Rocket with Morpeko, it's always a majority of it in hangry mode. So we never get to see a lot of the cutesy aspect of that Morpeko along with Team Rocket. You don't really see it much until today's or this week's episode.
Yeah.
And that's what really threw me off because it's like, I like Morpeko. I like what they did. I think the interactions that it had with James and James's kind of like confliction that it had towards the Pokemon was okay. But because we rarely got an opportunity to kind of develop Morpeko, aside from its typical trope of, it getting hangry every single time, causing Team Rocket to always have to go through hunger pressure here, it doesn't really pay off for me personally. And like I said, I still found it entertaining.
Doesn't
it's just
that
more
suck
so
concerning behavior?
yeah, it's entertaining, but it's incomplete. That's the best way to say it. This felt like an incomplete story that just had its most important thing cut off, and it should have honestly deserved better. But I'd still say I'd give it a pass for that. So
My opinion is similar to KG's, but in a different vein.
all right.
Uh,
Maybe you might
James-
say it differently because I know sometimes wording for me is a little wrong. So if I do find some similarities,
it follows the same mold. It's just about a different topic.
Okay.
So James caring about Morpeko. Let's talk about it. It is very much in James's character to care about Pokemon. In fact, out of all the cast members, James is the one person that actually legitimately cares about Pokemon the most. Some say debatably more than the actual hero cast. He's done this.
I actually don't disagree with that.
Yeah, he's done this with Chimecho. He did it with Mime Jr. He's done it with Cacnea, Carnivine. Like, it's very clear that James has a large Yamask, yeah. Inkay, it's very clear he has a large heart for Pokemon and has a strong passion for the Pokemon that he likes. So it's very much in character for him to care about Morpeko's well-being. The problem? This is the only episode he fucking does it. It would have been different if he cared about Morpeko in all the other episodes where Morpeko was a problem. Like, maybe Jesse could have snapped on Morpeko for trying to eat all the food, and James tries to, like, hold up, Jesse, like, it's not all its fault, it's hungry or something. Like, it would be very much in character if James had did this for the other episodes, but he doesn't. He faces the exact same trials and tribulations that Jesse and Meowth do when Morpeko eats all the food. So I don't feel bad for James when he's upset for Morpeko because he only does it this episode. Why? Because that's this episode's plot. Like, also, the writers need this to be an issue.
I want to just add something to that. Here's another little thing about it too. You want to know why else I also feel that same way as well? It's because whenever they're doing something for Morpeko, it's not for Morpeko. It's for their own benefit. It like the recent episode when they were getting electricity, they weren't doing it for the kindness of Morpeko. They were doing it just so that it could keep itself distanced from Team Rocket so that they can eat. Like there was never any moment where Team Rocket felt any form of pity. Or
not even just that. James specifically. There was never a moment where James was like, I wonder what'll happen if Morpeko wakes up, or here, I'll leave a small little snack here for when he wakes up. James could have been like, I'm sorry to admit, Jesse, I've been sneaking snacks to Morpeko to keep it at bay or some shit. Like,
no. Wait, here's my thing. I'm gonna add on to your thing. My other problem is that it seems like the feeling's mutual because Morpeko's interest in Team Rocket at the time, multiple times in this episode, have nothing to do with Team Rocket. Like when Morpeko saw them stealing Mons at the mall and shit, he wasn't interested in Team Rocket. He was interested in the food that Team Rocket happened to have near him. Like when they do that zoom in shot where Morpeko's like, oh, he's not going oh because Team Rocket. He's going oh because there's food. And I'll let you continue in a sec. I just want to say my biggest problem with Morpeko in this episode has nothing to do with James. Morpeko's just a shitty mod. There's nothing redeeming about it. Now you can go ahead.
No, I mean, yeah, and that's right. But like, if we're gonna make a character go through the trouble of catching this damn thing, then at least give me some reason to care about it catching him. Morpeko has been showing up in multiple Pokemon episodes at this point. So there's no reason why they couldn't have James have a bond with this thing. It almost felt like having James catch Morpeko was a last minute ass decision.
In episode 70.
In episode fucking 70. Morpeko, somebody look up Morpeko's debut episode, because I'm gonna
it was within the first 10.
Because they met him in Galar.
Yeah, it was one of the first. It was probably within the first 10 episodes.
I think he like hopped aboard. Somebody look it up so I'm have accurate information.
All right, I'll go check now for you.
But while he's looking that up, I'm just saying like Morpeko and Team Rocket suddenly like they still even make it seem like Morpeko slightly cares about Team Rocket because it keeps following Team Rocket. Obviously, it's following them because Team Rocket has the best access to food for some reason. But once Morpeko finally catches up, the reason Morpeko is acting nice is because this is the one, like KG said, this is the one episode we get to see Morpeko in full belly mode instead of in hangry mode. Literally, this is one of the few episodes where I've actually seen Morpeko in full belly mode, like legitimately just in full belly mode.
May I interrupt for a second just to explain the episode? Because you'll be surprised, it's not early episodes. This Morpeko appeared in episode 28, Sobbing Sobble.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my god, 28?
Mm-hmm.
That still means he's been around for 40 episodes.
That means almost 40 episodes. He's just been chilling.
It's over 40 episodes.
Oh my god.
42.
That's some bullshit. That means that like we could have had all this character development. Nope, we're gonna cram it all into episode fucking 70. And weirdly, I'll admit, Full Belly Morpeko's actually kind of cute. The sad part is, I don't give enough of a shit about. Like Terrell said, it's just a shitty ass Pokemon.
Yeah, like even when he's in full belly mode, his only concern, the only nice thing he does in the episode is share his food with James in the early part of the episode. Everything else is just him being a selfish dickhead or being indifferent. And I'm like, it
weirds me out that Morpeko's even hungry when in full belly mode. We tackled the whole episode almost like where he hates eating in full belly mode.
Yeah, it's almost like they have to go look up. It's almost like he's looking for food in advance before he turns back. And I'm like, bro, I already don't like you in that mode. At least give me you could have just did subtle things like him being like weirdly defensive of James in hangry mode. He's so annoyed, but he's defensive of James. Nothing like that. Oh, he happens to have a relatively strong move in stomping tantrum, and he is kind of nice to James. I also don't like the weird gimmick they were doing in the beginning of the episode with the whole like dropping pellets for the fuck of it. And I guess it's supposed to be a setup for the joke of him re-following the pellets to get back, which is when he runs into, I think, Jesse in them.
Yeah.
But for one, they don't follow the joke. They don't handle the joke properly. And two, there are random scenes in the episode where the food is missing in the same areas. I saw that like twice. Like well, go ahead.
Yeah, and the outer lining of this joke actually goes into a much bigger joke that's in the grand scheme of things. Team Rocket pursues Pikachu, but they're never going to get Pikachu, but they will get these knockoff Pikachus that aren't as good but have anger problems. Jesse had Mimikyu in Sun and Moon. James has Morpeko and Journeys. However, I'm going to give Sun and Moon its props. Mimikyu was done extremely better.
Well, that's also because it had 60 other episodes before it, so.
Because the joke is that Mimikyu wants to catch Pikachu like the other, but Mimikyu wants to kill Pikachu.
I want to be extremely fair here. Morpeko is the worst Team Rocket mon. I can't think of any Team Rocket mon that's worse than Morpeko. Just throwing it out. Go ahead.
I also want to add just
Lickitung is inoffensive to me. Morpeko actively gets on my nerves. That's my problem.
I want to add a little something because it is important as well to talk about this. this Morpeko is following up Sun and Moon's capture, which was that one.
Mimikyu.
No, not Mimikyu. That's Jesse's. I'm talking Marini. That's James'
Oh, you're
Pokemon.
talking James's capture.
Yeah, I'm saying this because that capture, which was Marini, happened 204 episodes ago. And you're following that capture up, which, by the way, had a really good story on its own, was really caring for James since the beginning, and developed and even did Z moves and all that stuff throughout the series of Sun and Moon. And this Pokemon is the one you're following it up with for James. It's such a drastic change, and honestly, it's for the worse. Like, I can't feel anything for Morpeko. I can say he's cute. I can say he's adorable, but I cannot feel sympathy or emotionally attached to the Mon. I can't accept that James suddenly comes out of nowhere with some form of a bond connection with this Pokemon through only this one episode, because all of the other episodes, they've always been crying about the Pokemon eating their food. Never once has anybody looked at it and said, you know, I feel kind of bad for him. You know, understandable. He's very
bad for fuck him.
Exactly. It sucks that it's that way, because I think Morpeko could be done better. In fact, there's another trainer out there somewhere in the world of Swoosh that could have done
it. We don't.
But unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever see it.
Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that shit, man.
Is that Morpeko's gimmick lies from Team Rocket's running joke of James's Pokemon stealing food from him any damn way? This was done in X and Y with Inkay. This was done again in Black and White with Yamask.
Fun fact. Actually, we actually, you know, the newspaper that Kojiro is reading. It actually mentions the Backstreet Boys in it.
Really now as well.
Yes.
The Backstreet Boys.
Oh,
don't lose to the Backstreet Boys. That's what it says.
Back.
Wow.
Don't lose. Yeah, it literally says don't lose to the Backstreet Boys. But of course, it actually says the real thing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, yes, because we actually decoded that. It's
written.
It's written in Japanese. Yeah, it's written. Yeah, it's a Japanese phrase that was written in the Pokemon language.
Yeah, but like the basis of Morpeko falls under the same joke that most of James's Pokemon follow. James's Pokemon end up eating his food. So you would think that would fit the mold here somewhere, where James just has this, like, he knows that Morpeko eats a lot of their food, but he still offers a little bit of what he has to Morpeko or something every now and then. And then Jesse could be like, what, you been holding out on us for that rat that's been eating all our food or something? That's a joke within itself. But nah, they don't do it. They decided that episode 70 is where James has to suddenly care.
Which makes me question, if Team Rocket can catch Pokemon, what's the point of the Gacha machine?
No one really likes the Gacha machine.
Yeah, the Gacha machine was weird this episode too. What was it like?
It was Zigzagoon and
Natu, but Natu was like odd.
No, Zatu. Oh no, wait, Zatu's the evolution.
No,
Zatu's
Natu. It's Natu. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he gave that weird dance to the Cinderace, which, hey, nice usage of Cinderace.
Apparently, Emmy, to answer your question, Choodle's one of the caught Pokemon that's in the Gacha, though. It's one of the Gachamons. It's not the Team Rocket mon.
Even though Team Rocket caught it.
Yeah, even though Team Rocket caught it. But, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
so just to close it off, this episode's just... I'm sorry. Like, it has some ideas in it, too. I like the idea that Team Rocket's, like, pursuing Ash and Go, but they're pursuing him to give them a Pokemon rather than take a Pokemon. That ironic twist within itself is great, but
it's tied to Morpeko.
It's tied to Morpeko. And then, like, I guess I like the idea that Team Rocket can go out and steal Pokemon from people that aren't around Ash and Go. I liked that, but obviously Ash and Go have to show up, so that's fucked. But yeah, I don't know, 4 out of 10. It's stupid.
Oh, absolutely not. How dare you?
What do you give it then,
What are you giving it?
He's probably gonna give it a 2.
Like a fucking 2.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Is there anything else? Yeah, Terrell, you know, since you did share a little bit, is there anything else you want to bring up?
The best part of it is James. The problem is it makes sense for James's character. It doesn't make sense for the Mon he's dealing with. Like I said, I don't like the weird animation consistencies with sometimes Morpeko's food being there and sometimes not. I only noticed it because it was back. It was like it was literally back to back. the gag with I feel like the going at it section literally serves no purpose. Other than, oh shit. The only thing I give the Ash and Go section props for is that it's a good show off of Raiju, and that's about it. And even then, it's all what is Raiju doing? Oh, just serving
Same
food.
shit that it did before.
Yeah, like it's not interesting, but it's just nice to see it being
It's
used.
nice.
Same thing. Oh, look, there's our Drizzle cameo for the episode. And then it was one of the few episodes where I actively sided with like Jesse and them, where I was like, yo, get this thing out of our house. Why do we still have this thing in the house? And they're like, well, why don't we just send it back to the wild? Cool. And then we're doing the Looney Tunes gag of like it constantly coming back in some ridiculous way or fashion. The problem is I actively hate this fucking thing. And I know I'm gonna have to keep dealing with it for future episodes. Like Looney Tunes is it's like a 15-minute episode and I'm done. With this thing, it's like, oh well, I guess we're going back. Huh?
7.
Oh, is that okay? 7. 7-minute episode. Yeah. That's even worse. At least a 7-minute episode and I'm done. I'm like, all right, bet. All right, we ain't got to deal with it anymore. Here, no. We're gonna see it next week and the week after. And granted, he doesn't show up all the time, but I never am happy. That's the main problem. Morpeko's a mon I'm never happy to see. Like when I see Gengar, although I don't like the way Ash has been treating it this region, I'm never angry to see his Gengar show up. Morpeko, I'm actively annoyed to see him because I know what he's gonna do. What he always does: get angry and attack you,
and eat your food.
And it also doesn't make sense for a mon who supposedly likes James to then, even in hangry mode, so easily flip. Like it's like an annoying ex-girlfriend that won't leave you the fuck alone. Like just leave, bitch. We're over. Just go.
It's like a weird reverse.
I miss Stockholm. You. Get out of here, you fucking asshole.
It's like a weird reverse level of Stockholm syndrome, where instead of
that's what I think James. I think that's what I think the relationship is. It's James suffering Stockholm syndrome because he's so used to the abuse that he just thinks the shit's normal now. Which also just makes me feel worse because I'm like, bro, James, I actually like you as a character sometimes. This is a terrible situation to happen to you, especially considering you already have the running gag of getting abused by your mons. But at least Carnivine and Cacnea and Victory Bell and Marini all generally did it out of love. Cacnea was hugging you, for God's sakes. Marini is hugging you. Its version of a hug.
Yeah, like poison included.
Yeah, like Morpekos is literally, you didn't give me food, so fuck you. I hate this fucking mon. God damn it. And like KG said, there was another trainer with the mon in the game that you could have used, and they were like, nah, fuck that region. But we'll use it. We'll use it for marketing every once in a while. But fuck that region. This is a piece of shit. The James parts are cool, but like it doesn't flow with the episode because the mon sucks. So yeah, 2 out of 10. Fuck them. Fuck Morpeko. I hate that thing.
All right, let's pass it on to Polly. Polly, you there, buddy? Let's hear your take on the episode then.
Obviously, I don't want to keep you guys here all because I feel like I actually, it's weird because I don't know if this is the desperation I feel being the Team Rocket stan here, but I actually enjoyed the episode.
Polly, Polly, if you have an opposing thought, let it out. Do not be afraid.
Yeah. But I see your point. It was a little jarring.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, it was a little jarring at the end when James wanted to catch it, and it all of a sudden, now it likes James and wants to go with it. The one SpongeBob quote I have that could sum up this entire episode was, "No, Patrick, he liked me for my shorts. No, Patrick, he liked the cookie in your shorts." And that's basically what the
he wanted the cookie the whole time.
Pretty much. So I'll talk about some other details that I did like. I like the humor, the Greedent and Morpeko eating contest was funny. The animation was very anime-y. I know that sounds weird, but it's like there's one. I don't know who did this.
Yeah, I'll tell you who it was. It was an Iwane solo episode.
Okay, yeah, I had a feeling because we got Go at one point doing the Edward Elric wiggly arms thing, and that which looked very early 2000s, and then the whole thing with the Cinderace when Natu was pecking its feet. So that was kind of interesting to see in a Pokemon episode. I feel like we don't really get that a lot. especially obviously from the original art style, which was a little bit more like stiff. So that was just interesting.
And can I interject for 1 second, just about because Polly, you just brought up something super interesting that I thought about, and it's about Morpeko and Greedent. So Ash and Go has never actually like encountered and like faced Morpeko before. Like, in fact, the only time Morpeko was a threat to them was during the eat-off, and even then, they didn't know it was Team Rocket's. So I actually like this idea that they had to deal with Morpeko for a little bit, but on their own terms. And Ash and Go, it's very jarring, though, to see that Ash and Go can handle Morpeko, obviously, because they have the food to serve it. Right. But at the same time, that weirdly proves that they belong more to Ash than James, or to Ash and Go than James, because their whole joke is they don't have enough food to last.
Okay,
but go ahead, Polly.
The next thing I was actually going to say was the music peeps in the chat hit it right on the head. The new Hayashi tracks, plural, we got were absolutely stunning. Like
one of them was in the mall scene, and there was one in the, trying to think where else it was. It was during the scene where Kojiro is at the shore, I think, and in the town.
Oh, I thought it was the scene when he was in the truck, in the Morpeko.
The truck, that's right. The truck, that's right. The truck.
Okay, yeah.
That's right. The truck.
That the one jazzy one was great. I hope we get. It would be great to get like a continuation of that original CD and have that track. Otherwise, maybe one of our friends could clean it up for us. And,
he did,
but yeah, Filippo.
No, they did already. They actually released it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
Oh, I got it.
I'll tweet it out for you later. Then
I gotta see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, you guys kind of like summed up everything in detail how I feel about it. I also, because I'm one of the few people here, along with UKG and Richie too, who thoroughly enjoyed Sun and Moon, especially Team Rocket Sun and Moon. Like that was honestly also peak Team Rocket, especially their team. So like following it up with this is like, At the same time, though, I am seeing this from a Journeys lens, so unfortunately my standards aren't very high. So it was enjoyable getting to spend time with them again, and it felt very OS-ish.
In terms of the humor, I assume?
The humor, yeah. And also the disguises, because it's like, I don't know, it's funny. It was also funny seeing, it's like at one point Jessie is like walking down the street in her uniform carrying the groceries. It's like, oh, now we can eat. But then I'm like, can't people see that she's in public, like in her uniform? But then in the next scene, they're actually in disguise again, walking in broad daylight, like.
Despite already walking in broad daylight beforehand.
Yeah, I have a feeling. It's because since Iwata did it himself, it's probably because he probably did the scenes in different order. It's probably why.
Yeah,
that's what. Because remember, one man did this whole thing. Like you look at the credits, just Iwata. That's it. Like usually for a standard Pokemon episode, you might see like a list of 20 names. You see one name.
Yeah, Iwata is truly the GOAT, no matter what kind of episode he gets. Because, like you said, the animation department, I think they did pretty good, especially from Iwata's shoes. Like the silly Cinderace dance, or the scene where Morpeko launches these little shards of rock.
Or the fact that the Rockets did the fucking crip walk while going down the street.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's still good elements about it. But continue, Polly. If you were to give it a rating, I guess.
Yeah, probably like but like 4.5, I'll say.
A 4.5?
Because I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it, but I'm also like from a story point of view or from a character point of view, I'm also not a huge fan of Morpeko, and like it was cute for a moment, but it's like I feel like I'm also gonna get annoyed.
Yeah.
Like Terrell did. So.
The best way to view this episode, and it's kind of like how Journey's been nowadays, is view the episode for what it is, not for what it's attached to.
I'll say Journeys did one thing right. It made me appreciate Sun and Moon a lot more. I apologize. Mimikyu is a way better Pikachu Team Rocket variant because Mimikyu's joke is fucking genius. Team Rocket wants to pursue Pikachu, not kill it. Mimikyu wants to kill Pikachu. Like that in and of itself is fucking hilarious. What does Morpeko want to do? Eat. What does it want to do when it's angry? Eat. Like it's so
Eat and beat, basically. So yeah.
Yes.
I'm just like Jesus
Okay.
fucking Christ.
But let's pass this one on to Richie, and then after that, TSS will be your take.
You got it.
All right. So Richie, take it away, buddy.
I'm gonna do this in like less than 2 sentences because, and it's not very because most people ahead of me kind of said what I was gonna say. It's mostly because I just don't really have much of a thought. James acted the way I kind of thought he did because when you look at similar episodes like this where the objective is pretty much, a Pokemon that randomly comes in that kind of either fucks up Team Rocket or either it fucks up Team Rocket or it just randomly walks in and then there's just like, there's this Pokemon and James is the only one that kind of gives a shit about it in terms of, the care other than the fact of, we need it for our team because, because normally what I see is this. Normally they see a Pokemon that they think is useful for their team and they're like, hey, or Jesse's like, we need this for our team. We need to build like an army, or Meow says some bullshit and some references here and there. And James is like the first one that's just like, hey, wait a minute, guys, why don't we just, he's the one that cares about its well-being. So that part of it never changed. So I guess I appreciate that continuity. And I guess the one other thing that I have for it, which is actually the last thing, is that, but unlike the other ones where they were more memorable and how the other ones are a little bit more impactful, I don't feel for this one. Maybe it's because I don't really care for Morpeko as a Pokemon. That is probably it. Or maybe it's one of those things where I'm not warmed up to it by the way I was introduced to it. And maybe it's one of those things where, I'll probably warm up to it later over time, which I find that kind of hard to believe because, the journeys has been up and down in regards to that standard. So I don't know. I just don't feel any impact with it. Maybe it'll hit me later. But overall, I thought it was a okay episode. It was okay. I mean, James definitely carried the episode, but even then, James, if the only good thing about this episode was James and nothing else really hits, then that's a problem. It's just a problem. So overall, it was okay. If you care about James, if you care about, his character quality character quality of him caring for Pokemon, you'll probably like the episode for that regard. But I wouldn't give it too much of a thought into the basket. And as far as rating, I'm probably just going to give it a 4. Maybe later on, like I said, if Morpeko turns out to be a developing character arc that turns out to be good later on in the series, maybe I'll consider going back to this episode, give it a little bit of a higher rating of like a 1 or 2 bump. But for right now, I'll give it a 4.
All right.
And that
was the 2 longest run-on sentences I've ever heard in my life.
But it was all one sentence.
No, because Richie started off saying it was going to be 2 sentences long. I'm like, bruh.
Did I say 2 sentences? I meant 2 actual
2 paragraphs,
thesis statements. Nah, but sincerely though, thank you, Richie, for your opinion on that.
I meant sentences, but paragraphs.
You fooled us again. Nah, but thanks for your opinion, Richie. So let's see. Let's take a look at the scores real quick.
There just wasn't much. There just wasn't much at all.
All right, you said
if you care about James, that's it.
You said yours was a 4, right?
Yeah, I gave it a 4.
Okay, so now with that being said, TSS, I will pass this on to you and like to hear your opinions on this episode, man.
So first of all, this is the worst Iwane episode of the series by far because usually Iwane episodes for me are in the high 8s or in the 9s. This one is not. My biggest complaint actually is for a different reason. I feel that first of all, the scene where Kojiro and Morpeko go out to the fucking go out to the fucking forest is a waste of fucking time. They should have just cut 3 minutes out of that. I felt like it should have started when the Rockets were in with the gag of the fortune teller. They should have fucking started with that. The second half is much better than the first half. However, like I said, the first half exists, so whatever. realistically the best Pokemon in this episode is fucking Go's Raichu, because once again she is the fucking drug dealer of the berries, which actually got rid of the conflict that was with Morpeko and Greedent. I did enjoy that. I was actually rooting for Morpeko to go to Go so we could never fucking see it again. But of course, they had to have a story. Yeah, we have to fucking have a story. Yeah, but we can have it. We have a fucking story to have. Drizzile in the cave and shit. That was a funny scene. So there's lots of like little funny moments, but realistically, like I said, Raichu's the best part of this episode. The whole thing in the mall was fine, but then they realized, oh wait, just because Morpeko can fucking like fucking throw rocks at fucking Pikachu and Cinderace, it's the fucking god now, so we need it. So
Oh,
I mean,
know how much of a bitch Cinderace has become.
yeah, I mean, okay. So let's take a look at it from another perspective. At least they're consistent with the story they're trying to tell in the last like 4 episodes. At least they got better with the fucking storytelling, like the storytelling in terms of like consistency. The thing is though, they had to slap this in there because okay, we had the direction change, and okay, we have this fucking big arc coming up, so we have to wrap this shit up. That's what I felt like.
Oh wow, I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah, you're right. We were about to go into Project Mew.
Yeah, because we're literally next episode starts Project Mew proper. We have to fucking tie this fucking loose end because this shit was sticking around for fucking 40 episodes and we got nothing. So while the change of direction improved the narrative in terms of consistency and actual consistent story. The problem is with the Morpeko one, it didn't feel like it was warranted. But the problem is they had that fucking loose end that had to be tied in.
So but that didn't they have an episode with Morpeko a while ago where we're stealing like food
electricity.
From why did that episode come before this one?
Yeah. That's the whole fucking thing.
Instead, the one that came before this one was the scene where it ate the apple pie in their face.
Yeah, so at least they did a way to fucking build it. But like I said, because they had to throw away the fucking director beforehand, we've only had the director now for holy shit, only about 15 episodes now. Holy shit! So they're trying to clean up the mess, but the mess is not cleaning up. However, though, the latter half I feel was on point. Aside, I mean, I didn't care about the fucking capture. Go fuck that. But the progression and the speed from the last part. The problem here is that you're talking about Iwane, who excels in action scenes and fucking battles, and you give him an episode that doesn't have a battle in that only has like 2 minutes of a battle in it. It doesn't fucking work. So it gets a 7.6 today.
All right,
That's
man.
it.
I can see, yeah, you did bring up a good point for Iwane, who is known for a lot of the movement and flow of battling. You saw that for a glimpse second there when he lunged the attacks towards the Pokemon.
Yes.
That
like
looked
2 minutes
good.
were actually done with the battle. He excels in battle and action-oriented episodes. This wasn't it.
Nah, so
therefore, this is the worst Iwane episode in PM 2019.
Damn. All right. Well,
I was muted when you said Go. Or you were rooting for Go to capture it, but I was laughing.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to laugh my ass off. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, I wanted to just fucking disappear.
Oh well, it's such a weird feeling when almost everybody unanimously agrees. Fuck Morpeko, man.
Also, 7's low to you, TSS? No.
Well, to be fair, this is TSS's rating.
It's TSS. I have to scale TSS
because my lowest one so far is the Cinderace and Lucario, which on the fucking screen is just 7.2.
I just want to say, if TSS thinks Morpeko's a piece of shit, and it's TSS, and we're talking about journeys, this fucking mon sucks. I just wanted to be stated.
It fucking sucks.
It fucking sucks.
And like I said, my scale is more of a critical scale. Like anything, like I said, I have to be consistent because I dug myself in this hole. So I have to say, 7.2 is my lowest score in journeys right now, and then 9.8 has been my highest, and that was the Iris one.
I don't see how else the journeys could have helped Morpeko other than to add the trainer that obviously we keep mentioning.
Yeah.
Because I think she would have been the only saving grace for a
Well,
moment.
the
No,
problem
she
is that
is the
Unfortunately,
same.
Well, the problem is that
I'll-
they've characterized Morpeko badly, and because they wanted him to be the beware of
the problem is
of Journey.
You took 56 episodes to actually give a fuck about consistency, and all the shit that happened in the previous 56 episodes, they had to fucking tie together, and it makes it look like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the problem is that you're trying to emulate. Obviously, it's trying to emulate Beware by having a running gag that Team Rocket. It seems like Team Rocket has at least one Mon that has the running gag of fucking some shit up. It's just that Morpeko seems to be trying to copy Beware more than anything else in terms of being the reason why Team Rocket blasts off sometimes. The problem is that Morpeko, that's
It's
all they were
always the
using.
same goddamn blast off. It's never
Well,
nothing
yeah,
original. At
this is
least
the
with Beware, you want to know what was the good point of Beware? Beware, every single time it had to come and save Team Rocket, it was always still the same trope, but with a different twist every time. Like how
But
Beware
also
I
ran.
like the motorcycle.
the other point is that
The motorcycle one was a fucking Pokemon Kids toy, which I
Well,
fucking have, and that's the fucking best shit.
the better thing that for KG's point is that the context was different. You said it in your statement, KG. He was saving Team Rocket, meaning there was still some level of like care and understanding from the Beware that he generally cared about them, and that's why he was trying to protect them. It was in a ridiculous manner, but you could tell it was coming from a good place. Morpeko's literally comes from a place of selfishness. I'm hungry. Give me food. You didn't give me food. Eat a dick. You're dying. That's the premise behind every time he blasts them away. And I'm like, you're not likable. There is no redeeming. The nicest thing you've done in 70 episodes is give James a piece of food. That's it. That's the nicest thing you've done. And then you immediately follow it up with being a selfish little asshole and demanding food from James to where he has to go and spend a bunch of his money. And I know Polly says, I think she said she found it funny with the whole like Jesse getting food in her Team Rocket outfit, but then like being in their normal. That's just another.
That was just a little, yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying that it reminded me of that's another annoying inconsistency because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Why the fuck wouldn't you? Why have a disguise if you use it only sometimes? Then makes I don't know.
And
It's not
your utter disguise is literally the rocket shirt that everybody can
Yeah.
see.
Also, I hate it. I hate that how much I like their casual designs. I like their
I do
casual
like
designs.
them.
I like their casual designs a lot.
Just
I think
give
this
them
like,
a slice of life sub series.
this is well. Listen, this is the problem I've always said Team Rocket has. Team Rocket is pigeonholed into a position where they will never win because they will never have episodes where Team Rocket will steal Pokemon 100% because it's a children's show. We're not going to show stealing is wrong.
Honestly, I think they needed to retire in Alola and just open up a Malasada shop.
They needed to retire like 3 generations ago, for God's sakes. Like, Jesus Christ.
It's very clear they're better at other jobs.
That's what makes it worse. That you have when they do the episodes focused around Team Rocket, you're like, these guys are pretty decent characters when they're not tied to Pokemon dumb shit.
They're
The problem is
they're
they're tied to Pokemon dumb shit.
Yeah, they're good cooks. They're good newscasters. They're good concession salesmen. They're actually really good, competent. Unfortunately,
They also have decent backstories, which they'll never touch on.
yeah, and
again.
unfortunately, the one thing that they're devoted to is the one thing they're bad at.
And Kojiro has become his Takumi Fujiwara fucking counterpart in Pokemon, which is nice, but the problem is you don't give him the opportunity. I want him to fucking go in a race again.
Oh no,
Like-
no. Listen,
like driving fucking cars and shit.
once I found out the hatred, the problem I have is that the hatred that the Japanese fan base had towards James and
Serious
Jesse.
Team Rocket.
Yeah, Serious Team Rocket tells me y'all just want them to literally be this. This is the best we get. Every region they'll reset and we'll get some new shit. We'll get old shit with a new coat of paint. And I'm just like
X and Y, as well as debatably the other series have taught us, Jessie could be a legitimately good diva. Like, she can be a good actress / diva. And James from Sun and Moon, we've learned, can be a pretty competent Pokemon trainer. Unfortunately,
it's Pokemon. Pokemon refuses to change
the
them.
show has put them in a very shitty situation where they have to be redundant failures for some
And the
reason.
fucking fan base sucks. because
I've
they
given
ask
up on
them to
this.
be-
I could rant about it I still want to make a video about it, which I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know if I'll ever do.
Just
hell,
write down
Meowth can
all
be a-
these notes, buddy.
Meowth can be an inventor/salesman, but unfortunately, the show has coded them completely.
It just bums me out because you want to know what the issue is? They have and they had done this so well that they could still rehash it in the current series and nobody would bat an eye because everybody would like seeing more Team Rocket competency on screen. I would like to see more of that Jesse Diva-ness like they had in that Ditto episode, if anyone remembers that. Just explore more of that because Journeys does. Here's the thing, Team Rocket has nothing going on for them in Journeys right now. They are supposed to be only here just to show off the Mons via the gotcha machine. But it's not them. It's the gotcha machine that they're tied to. Nobody cares about the Team Rocket characters at this point. They just care about who's the Pokemon out of the gotcha machine of the day, you know? And it sucks because Team Rocket could clearly do so much more. As I stated before with the Ditto episode, they actually brought that concept back up in the Inteleon episode when Jessie, James, and Meowth, they came in through like the vehicle and all that, and you see Jessie in like her outfit and whatnot, and they even had that trope continue on throughout the episode. Like there are themes right there that they could explore, but they don't ever do it. They don't even have an idea as to what they want to do with Team Rocket. I think this is the series. In fact, I would go down and say this is the worst series for Team Rocket currently.
Oh,
Oh,
this is the
yeah.
worst series
No,
period. I'm
they-
fucking Rocket. Worst series period.
I can't say that currently because Journeys is still incomplete. I could,
All right, let me ask you a question. Is there a series that you think is worse than what would you say is the worst anime season then or series?
what's
in
the
Pokemon?
worst season for them or Team
Well,
Rocket?
series. I mean, no. I'm talking about in general. What's the worst series in Pokemon anime for you?
Damn, I would have
Shit,
to.
man. Fuck.
Nah, this is difficult because OS is hard for do that because it's containing Kanto, Orange, and Johto. AG, I can't do that. I
Team
stand
Rocket are
AG.
funny in
Deep,
Kanto.
yeah. So that and OS and
Oh no, Journeys is the worst in every aspect for me.
Wait, for
Every
Team
aspect.
Rocket or just in general?
I was gonna say in general.
in general, that's what I'm saying.
In
The Kanto,
general.
the OS,
Johto for me is still worse.
yeah. Except unfortunately, in
Oh,
my
hell no.
mindset, it's OS, and I
I'll
can't
rewatch
really
Doodle
downgrade
all
it down.
day instead of this.
No.
No, fuck no.
Are
Let
you
me
joking?
see.
Good God.
Let me see.
Fuck
DP,
the show.
I can't do that. DP's DP. Team Rocket, I thought was decent there.
Yeah, but how I view it is I don't care if it's under one umbrella. I consider each of the things like Kano, Johto, Orange is separate.
All right, if that's the
So,
mindset,
yeah,
then I'm
I
gonna
would
say,
watch
in my
Johto.
opinion, then I'm gonna say XYZ. Then at that point is the worst one out of all of them. Then it's not X and Y.
We got
It's
the
XYZ.
iconic ending for them.
I know, and it was only used
That's a
for one
bold-
episode.
to me, that's
And
a
even the
bold statement.
director came out and said, "Man, I wish I could have used this in more indies, but I only used it in one episode." So I mean, yeah, that's just.
I
I
should-
just want to say one thing.
Right.
For me, it's not about them being competent, because I've never really cared about them being competent as Team Rocket trained. Because I know deep down they have good hearts, so it wouldn't be like them. And that's like the problem I have with the Best Wishes versions of them. No offense to Ro, but it's more about just showing them. It's more about making them featured in episodes the same way. I mean, Jesse had episodes even in XY. They weren't too much featured as they were in like
Backstreet Boys.
the classic era, or even Sun and Moon. But still, like Jesse had an episode. James got the Marini stuff in Sun and Moon. Jesse got the Mimikyu stuff. Like they're shining. They're shining. Their peak. What am I saying? The best thing about them in Sun and Moon was their Pokemon. But it's not like they even did much in Sun and Moon. Like they literally, it was like a vacation for them too. But that's what made them great and it made them so enjoyable to watch was because we fell in love with their Pokemon team in Sun and Moon. Here, they're not doing much. But we don't have a team to even fall back on. So that's why it's the least enjoyable for me.
You want to know why? And this is something I get, and I know it's something I shouldn't do because people hate it whenever you compare what's happening currently to what had
I
happened
know.
before. It's always given with this weird look in the face and whatnot. But it has to be noted. You really have to pay attention to what came before just to see where they're currently at now. What really made me appreciate Team Rocket a lot in Sun and Moon was because they gave him something to do. Most of the time, it was never about capturing Pikachu, and yet Team Rocket could still interact with Ash and the others. Remember that theater episode when Jesse came in and became like some kind of performer and all that jazz, and had
Well,
nothing
not
to do
only
with the
that.
Pikachu episode,
Well,
like capture.
and not only that, they freaking made it a love letter to Megumin, which is
Exactly.
great.
Also, like say the baseball episode as well, if anyone remembers that. Like they could still interact with Ash and the others, but it doesn't have to be about Pikachu. It doesn't have to be about the thing that they are horrible at. It's just finding creative ways to incorporate them with the main cast to get something out of it. And Sun and Moon, despite some of the criticisms a lot of people have, cannot deny the fact that the best thing about that show was its usage of characters, even ones that we've been with for 20 plus years, like Team Rocket. Yes, they might have not been at their prime like other generations, but Team Rocket was some of the most funniest things they've like had some of the most funniest scenes in Sun and Moon, whether it be the mall, whether it be the baseball or the theaters or the battle against Team Skull or the league. Like there were so many things that Team Rocket did that you could say has never really been done before in prior generations, and the way they implemented those characters with the other cast to still give them something to do without having to rely on a trope that's been going on for years, decades even. It's a breath of fresh air. And that's why I'm saying with Journeys, I want to like Team Rocket. I want to like this episode, but when I cannot see or connect with any of the characters that we have currently with the Pokemon that they're now going to be tied with, it's just disappointing. It really is. I have no words to describe that. And like everybody, this is the first time within a while that everyone unanimously agrees that that is one of the worst captures James has had in the entirety of the anime series.
No, this is the worst one. This
Yeah,
is his
that's what I'm
worst
saying.
one.
The worst one in general. Like, how did you mess something like that up? In something that wasn't even like in the first 10 episodes or the first 20. We're in the 70s. This is even worse than Serena's whole situation. We're that far ahead, man, with that. It is that bad.
Now on the other side of the coin, can it possibly get better from here? Yes.
Yes, it can.
Yes, because now that we're done with all that fucking Morpeko bullshit, maybe after the freaking Project Muse shit, they'll get their act together. So let's see what happens.
But here's the issue, though. We
This is the
have
12th time
70
we said it.
episodes, though.
Hold up.
Look, my problem is
Hold the fuck up. This is
my
the 12th
problem
time we said it's gonna get better.
Yes,
my
but here's
problem is that we're 70 episodes in. That's my problem.
but we're only 15 episodes since the fucking change.
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, that means nothing.
If you punch me 70 times, if you punch me 70 times and say I'm not gonna punch you again, it's hard for me to believe.
We hit when you're dead. Thank you. Next.
So once again,
because the point is, we watch the series till the fucking end.
That's why we're here,
No,
guys.
that's Stockholm syndrome.
I'm gonna be a skeleton by the time we're done.
This is fucking Escape from Stockholm 2004. We're gonna fucking steal some fucking McLaren F1s. We're gonna fucking go around. Watch that movie. That's a good thing. Illegal street racing, cool stuff.
So KG and I have been on this philosophy, on this differing philosophy, where KG says that the biggest flaw with X, Y, and Z is that it got bad at the end. My philosophy goes, if I have to get tortured all the way through and then at the end go,
torture?
Well, it's kind of good at the end, that's bad. Because if it's getting bad at the end, at least I can bounce. I can
agree. I agree with that.
That's kind of what I did with Best Wishes. When Decorla Island came, I was like,
And the advantage is you can literally skip that and not lose anything plot-wise.
Exactly. I mean, I watched all of it because fuck it.
Watch the last episode.
But at that point, it was over. But with Decorla, I could bounce and be like, this is bad. I'm leaving. And it just ends. It's over. In my mind, I had a good journey all the way up till that point. Here, like, I understand where KG was coming from, where the end can mess things up. But at least with what I liked, the show I liked, it was good all the way up till then. And then toward the end, you can literally go, oh shit, that's bad. I can leave. It's good. This is bad. And I gotta sit here and hope that it gets better. I have to sit here on episode fucking 70 and go, well, maybe it'll get better. Maybe one day it won't hurt me anymore. It's only because I fucking deserve it. Like, what
Look
the
between
fuck
the lines.
logic is that?
Look between the lines.
What
That's the whole thing.
What logic is that?
Actually, yeah, that is a good one.
It's called being analytical about fucking live
Actually, that
concert
is
gigs for 10
hilarious
years.
that you say between the lines, because technically, right now, I want to say we're in the halfway point of Journeys. If this is to only
Yes.
be 3 years, we're literally
Yes,
at the halfway point.
but I notice patterns.
Yes.
There's my question. Would you recommend Journeys now as it is currently?
Absolutely
No.
not.
No.
And that's
No.
a problem. That's a
That's a
problem.
problem.
That's a problem. We're watching a show 70 episodes in, and we wouldn't even recommend it.
I can't even go back and reminisce on the good
know,
ones.
Let me just put this in perspective. If your not anime friend said, "Oh, I heard you're still watching Pokemon. How's the anime been?" You go, should I get into it? And your response is no. You know what their next question is going to be? Why the fuck are you watching it then? And your response is, well, because I have to stick with it until it ends. You know what that sounds like? A bad marriage. It sounds like, bitch, you need to get
Damn.
divorced
Yeah,
as soon as possible.
It's called I'm being devoted.
That's terrible. That's a terrible thing.
But here
See,
we
here's a
are.
terrible thing. Then again, though, I like torturing myself, so therefore.
You know,
Also,
Yeah, no,
and just use an example that isn't Pokemon related. This is a conversation.
uh-oh. Huh. I feel like they all lost connection somehow. I didn't lose any frame rates, did I? No, I didn't lose any frame rates. Hello, chat. How you guys doing today? Are you guys all doing good? Yeah? Everyone good? Yeah, it's the Discord. It's just pure Discord. Wow. Huh. I have no idea what to say at this point, man. It would tell me the frame rates would be bad or something, but it's not. Oh, let me see if I refresh. Is it still going on? It's still going on? Chad, do you guys hear me loud and clearly? Masuda Squad KG. did they disconnect, or is it just me? It's telling me I'm still streaming though. But everybody's just dead on my end. And it's saying that I'm disconnected and everything. I feel like I probably should wrap things up for tonight, I'd like to think. I don't know what's happening, and I feel like my shit's gonna blow up if I don't do anything about it. It's telling me I need to connect to chat. So I'm probably gonna wrap things up for tonight. And we're just gonna call it night for now, okay? Everybody, I want to thank you guys so much for tonight. Thank you for coming on through. I don't know why this thing's happening currently as it is. But hey, I mean we'll figure this out eventually, won't we? So let me see. Am I still live right here? You disconnect. No chat on screen. Yeah, there's just something's going on. If you guys can hear me, you guys can wait. Do you guys still hear me? Discord got the store because people are going to get their performance. Holy shit! What happened to this? You guys can still hear me? Shit! Oh yeah, you guys can still. What is happening right now? My stream is still fine, but everybody is just straight up dead in my thing right here. I'm gonna go and wrap things up. I feel like something is gonna blow up if I don't do anything soon. KG1 Man Show, KG Watchers is asking, don't worry. You know how bad it is right now? I have to keep refreshing Twitch's page just so I could see the chat. That's how bad it is right now. But the frame rate is not dropping at all whatsoever on my stream in general, that you guys can still hear me. So I want to say I'm going to wrap things up for tonight. We're going to have E3 conference tomorrow at Nintendo's thing. Make sure to tune in for that. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's thing. And yeah, I will go and wrap things up. All right, you guys all take care. Have a good night, good morning, good afternoon. Please sign this petition to get my queen. It's been okay. Yeah, so Nessa, if you could find a way to somehow get the boys in that call to let them know that something happened and I don't know what's going on, but everybody can still hear me all okie dokie, then that would be great. I have no fucking idea what's happening. Well, everybody, y'all have a good night. My name's KG Prestige. We'll wrap things up now. I'll see y'all later in whatever video we make. Take care, everybody. And as always, please make sure to do me a solid and keep yourselves safe healthy. TSS would always say, wash your freaking hands. And we'll talk again later. Alrighty, everybody? Night, night. Seriously, though, what the hell happened to Twitch? I'm so fucking scared, man. We need a conclusion. Here's your conclusion. F that Morpeko, man. F that Morpeko. There you go. Good night, everybody. Mwah. Good God, what even happened tonight?